What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Movies and Brewskis Live. I'm your host Matt Burke, and tonight we're gonna have a fun show. Got a lot of stuff planned for you. Probably gonna have some buddies on today too. I picked up this new whiskey right here. It's called Rebel 100. It's a Kentucky bourbon. It swears it's definitely a smooth rye whiskey, handcrafted, made with 100% true American grains. So we'll go ahead and check this one out. I don't know. You're gonna have to pray for me. So I don't know how strong it is, but we'll crack it open right now. I do like the rye whiskey though. Bullet's my favorite, but can't always get the bullet. Sometimes you gotta bite the bullet and get something else. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Yeah. Let me see here. A lot of really cool stuff going on right now. A lot of stuff going on with comics. You got the comic store guys, comic store dude speaking up for the American comic book industry, and Mark Millar coming in and commenting on it, and yeah, man, kind of sticking up for the little guy. It's been pretty eventful about a week or so. Yeah, good stuff going on out there, man. Putting a positive spotlight on us out here in the comic book making world. There's something I wanted to share with you guys. I've seen some really cool artwork on Twitter tonight, and let's see here if I can get it out here for you. Yeah, man, really cool stuff. This is this one's by Tim Vigil, and it's the Crow, man, the Crow and Faust. That's fucking. And I put epic on there and commented. Yeah, wish I could. Yeah, you got Eric Draven right there, and big old Crow in the background blasting. Just a fucking metal ass piece. Yeah, man, really digging that. Cool to see him on Twitter right now, and just really showing his stuff. I don't think he's been on there for a while now, but he's on there. Imagine a comic book of that, Faust and the Crow. I mean, some people probably wouldn't want it, but some people might. But I don't know. I think it would be pretty awesome. Nonetheless, another thing I wanted you guys to check out was this Conan book that's actually on Zoop right now. Let me pull this up. Zoop is another crowdfunding campaign that's similar to Fund My Comic, Kickstarter, Indiegogo. But for a while, I didn't really know what to think about it because they didn't. I hadn't seen any books on there that really fulfilled anything yet. So, but there is they got this Conan book on there. Let's see here. Yeah, Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Barbarian. And it's the Colossal edition by John Buscema, Barry Windsor Smith, Gil Kane, and others. They got about 500 supporters on there. They have a Barry Windsor Smith cover, and I think they have a Jim Lee cover too. That's like the main one. But this is really cool, man. I mean, for all like the savage, Tales of Conan stands out there like me. Just built like they got a Sienkiewicz cover, a Neil Adams cover, Jim Lee cover. Kind of pricey, some of them. But basically, let's take a look at it a little bit. This is fucking metal as fuck. And it's hardcover too. So return to the age undreamed of. Witness kingdom shining like never before in a voyage with a black-haired, sullen-eyed reaver with mirths and melancholies that have literally never been this big. Pulled from throughout the original legendary run of Conan comics and magazine, gathered into one place for the first time ever. Timeless works by the greatest chroniclers of the Hyborian age are assembled in Conan the Barbarian Colossal Edition, boasting more than 190 pages of original art and reproduced at their original size, allowing even every detail to sing, every muscle, every sword, every drop of blood and bead of sweat. Okay. Let's see. It's divided into 3 sections. The first 3 shine a torchlight on the work of the greatest sword and sorcery artists of all time, John Buscema, Gil Kane, Barry Windsor Smith. Each section pulls pages from the decades of incomparable artistry. And yeah, man, that sounds pretty awesome. Seems pretty cool. And then it's on a bigger size, 17 inches. You know, I know there's a lot of cats out there that love that. Here's some of the pages. There's like the John Buscema, Conan the Barbarian movie, the Milius cover. You know, love that movie, man. It's still my favorite movie. Still my favorite movie. It's on Tubi right now for free. I got to check it out. I've been waiting to watch it again. Oh man, for me, Buscema's Conan is like the definitive Conan. I was on the stream the other day saying like, damn, dude, I think Cavill would be perfect for this Conan. I think he would be perfect for that. You know, got the blue eyes and you know the hair. Like he doesn't have the hair, but he's a brunette. Barry Windsor Smith. You know, that's a lot of other people's favorites. I think I like Barry Windsor Smith's. I mean, you know, love his Conan, but he has my favorite Wolverine, man. The Weapon X stuff. Look at all this beautiful artwork, man. Black and white. It just sings. It's just right off the page. Yeah, man. It's yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. I think that I don't know, black and white is just the way to go. And I don't know, like the Dark Horse colors were really good, but I don't know. There's just something about the black and whites that just something on another level. Look at that one. Oh man. Oh man. Buscema's been a big influence on me even more as of late, you know. Even more so. All this beautiful artwork right here. Alex Toth right there. Some more of the covers. That's crazy seeing the Jim Lee one too. Wow. Yeah, like I haven't seen anybody talk about this. So I was part of the I was one of the backers for Axe Wielder John. And that was one of the books that was on this new Zoop site. And I hadn't gotten any books, you know, delivered from them or heard tale of anybody that had any books delivered from you know, Zoop. So now they are actually in fact delivering. I actually have an email notification for Axe Wielder John. That book's coming out pretty soon too. That book's metal as fuck. We're gonna have to go over that on the show sometime too. And it's Nick Pitara. You guys got to check that out too. But yeah, man, good stuff. Let's see here. Say what up to. What's up, Pops? Thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, you guys get ready for that Roku channel, man. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff on there for creators. You can take your basically your YouTube stuff and put it over there, and there's, you know, millions of people on there. It's a whole different audience to expose your comics to. There's a big audience out there that wants to read comics that have never even read comics, that are coming around and they're interested, and they need content. They need good content, not the shit that they have in the mainstream right now in the stores that Marvel and DC are putting out. So definitely we got to think outside the box. Bring in we got to bring in some new stuff, man. And I don't know, but I do know that this is all right. So right here, this is a little thing that we're going to be talking about is Yule. And that's like one of the things that Christmas kind of came from. You know what I mean? It started off in Scandinavia, and this dude, Johan Hegg, he's actually singer of Amon Amarth. There's a cool little video that he kind of goes into it, and well, let's check it out a bit.
Season is upon us, and we couldn't have asked for a better gift than to see the support of over 100,000 people on our Facebook page. That is absolutely mind-blowing, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We would like to take this opportunity to share with you a bit of how Vikings celebrated around this time of year and how that still influences us up here in the north today. The very name Christmas, for instance, never stuck with the Vikings. They call it Yule, and so do we still today. Yule is the Old Norse word for the festivities held during the midwinter solstice here in Scandinavia. One of the most important traditions that still lives on is the Yule ham. The Yule
Ham, dude. Oh, you got me with the ham. I fucking made a ham for Thanksgiving. I've been over the I don't know, man. I've been over the turkey for forever, but the ham's bomb, man. You get some ginger ale and some brown sugar. You whip that up into a nice paste, and it's good to go, man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, turkey's bomb too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, with that, you're gonna like for me, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna basically stuff the top part underneath the skin with some butter, then put some bacon on top, and then I'm gonna inject it with some of that Cajun Tony Chatteran's Cajun seasoning into the thighs. Then we're gonna probably put more bacon on top, then wrap it in a bag too, man. And I don't know. I'm just kind of over the turkey. I used to be in the meat and seafood industry, so I've had my share of it. But yeah, fuck yeah, Yule ham.
ham is usually the centerpiece of every julebord or Christmas buffet, and it represents Särimner, the pig that was eaten in Valhalla, or sometimes Gyllenborste, the boar that the god Frey would ride. Another common tradition is to decorate your homes with goats, symbolizing Thor, representing his goats Tangnost and Tangrisnir, that would pull his chariot across the sky. Up until the 19th century, it was the goat who would deliver gifts to people's homes. And as a matter of fact, in Finland, Father Christmas is still called joulupukki, which literally translates to Christmas goat. For the Vikings, Yule was strongly connected to Odin, who is also called Jölfather, meaning Yule Father.
So you hear that? So Santa Claus, comes from there's some theories it comes from Odin, comes from Thor. Thor's his two goats, also could have represented the reindeer that Santa has. It's crazy, man. Like and then the tree, you know what I mean? Like there's I'm Christian, but the tree, there's no fucking trees, Douglas firs growing out in the middle of the desert in Israel or anything like that. You know what I mean? So that right there will tell you common sense that this came from Scandinavia.
Or Father Christmas, if you will. It was around this time of year that Odin could be seen riding his eight-legged horse Sleipnir across the sky, visiting people in their homes. This image of Odin was later adopted by the Dutch, who called him Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas would ride over the rooftops, delivering gifts to people during the holiday season. As a matter of fact, even Odin's ravens was transformed by the.
There was I forgot what country made it, but there was like a horror a Sinterklaas movie. I think it was from that country. It's pretty badass though, man. It came out like maybe 10 or 20 years ago. I ain't gonna lie, the last 20 years just flew by like that. So it kind of gets a little blurry, but it's pretty dope. I don't know if it was a Dutch movie or a German movie, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, he's talking about Raven's Odin, how it relates to Yule and Christmas.
The Dutch into Sinterklaas, two black helpers who would report to him which children had been good or bad during the year. Santa Claus, as we know him today, was given a red outfit and a sleigh with 8 reindeers, representing the 8 legs of Sleipnir in the 19th century, an image made widely popular by the Coca-Cola company in the 1930s. Even though you may not eat Frey's boar or decorate your home with the goats of Thor, we hope that you'll at least get a visit from Odin at Grimfrost. We wish you a good yule.
And there you go, man. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Grimfrost is awesome. Like if you're into Viking stuff or Norse myth or anything like that, go check out grimfrost.com. They got a lot of cool stuff on there. They got anything you could think of that has to relate to Vikings and Norse. They got they got deer mugs, they got comics, they got graphic novels, they got books, they got novels, they have clothing, anything you could think of, they basically have it. But there's another thing, man, that I wanted you guys to check out. There's another thing in the during this holiday where I don't know, man. Some people, or some kids, they worry about Santa, but there's also another one that haven't seen the movie. The movie's badass. It's like it was a big, I believe, Universal horror movie for Christmas. It's one of the best horror Christmas movies. My favorite's probably the Black Christmas remake, but this one's pretty dope. But the real Krampus, or the one from Myth, is a horned anthropomorphic figure from Central and Eastern Alpine folklore of Europe, who during the Advent season scares children who have misbehaved, assisting Saint Nicholas or Santa Claus. The pair visit children on the night of December 5th, with St. Nicholas rewarding the well-behaved children with gifts such as oranges, dried fruit, walnuts, and chocolate, while the badly behaved ones only receive punishment from Krampus with birch rods. So he's just like whoopsh, whoopsh, just whooping these kids, with these switches, man, with these basically like brooms and whatnot. The origin of the figure is unclear. Some folklorists and anthropologists have postulated that it may have pre-Christian origins. Young men dressed as Krampus attempt to scare the audience with their antics, such as events occur in most Alpine towns. Krampus is featured on holiday greeting cards, and they're called a Krampus carton. So yeah, there's some of the Krampus stuff right there. I also too want to check out some of this Krampus art, but first, y'all got to say what's up to my boy. And he knows a little thing or two about Krampus, and that is Christ Gal. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What up, B? I'm okay, dude. I'm okay. Just like kicking back, decompressing. Finished finished the first draft of really finished the first draft of Hell Knight.
Oh,
and so Preston, I gave that to Preston. Yep. Great, I'm dropping shit already. I gave that shit to Preston, so we're at that stage now where it's like I do my thing, then I bounce the ball to him, then he does his thing, bounces it back to me, and it's like sort of like in the ball bouncing stage. But he's got so much other shit to do, it might end up on the back burner for a bit, so I'm getting right into the Puritanian.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I can't wait for that.
That should be fun. But yeah, you're talking about Krampus. Krampus, of course, is almost bigger than Santa Claus. Right?
Really?
Now. No, I mean, not literally, but like Krampus didn't get the attention or the love. Most people didn't even know who the fuck Krampus was, unless you were Scandinavian or German. Yeah. Right? Maybe Dutch. Right? But that's a legend that comes originally from Finland.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Most of what we think of regarding Christmas comes from Finland. I was watching actually. Speaking of Krampus, I was watching a movie yesterday that I always heard great things about. which
Yeah.
is called Rare Exports.
Rare Exports, huh?
Rare Exports. It's a movie from Finland, and it's about a father and son, played by an actual father and son, guy and a little boy, right? And basically, it starts out with this discovery, almost like a thing, right? Where they've discovered this tomb, this ice tomb that's inside a mountain. And
Oh, wow.
inside that ice tomb is Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
But Santa Claus and Krampus are like the same entity,
Oh, wow.
right?
Yeah.
And so at first, let's just like people are dying, kids are disappearing, being replaced by these like straw dolls, and weird shit happens, and then they find a guy who they think is Santa Claus, right? This old man that's very not normal, very not human. Turns out though, he's one of the elves.
Oh,
And that
okay.
the real Santa Claus is this gigantic kaiju-sized like Krampus that's frozen in ice, except the two horns are coming out of the ice. It's really, really good. I recommend it.
A movie,
It's
huh?
on Tubi. Yeah.
It's a movie? What's it called again?
Rare Exports.
I'm gonna watch that shit tonight. And what country is it from?
Finland.
Finland? Is it dubbed at all, or is it just subtitled?
It's just subtitled, which I know is like a hassle for Preston.
After a while, I don't. Oh yeah. After a while, like, did you see that movie Heavy Trip? Did I tell you about that one? About that black metal band that's trying to get signed and play this festival?
I keep meaning to.
Yeah.
But on fucking on Shudder, it's not on there right now. And so I wanted to watch the Joe Bob Briggs version, right?
What?
Where he introduces the movie and talks about the movie, because it was on the Last Drive-In, which is basically the exact same thing that Monster Vision was.
Okay.
Back in the 90s, which was the shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's not on there. But it's on my Tubi. It's one of those movies that's just like, I'm going to get to it soon.
Right.
I know I'm going to get to it soon. It's
for me, like sometimes, like tonight's my Friday night, right? Like, and so it's like my Friday and Saturday night kind of merged, and like I work 6 days, and then boom, here we go. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, man, I want to do some live streaming and talk about some fun stuff, and
fuck yeah.
But then I get into this like later on tonight, I'm gonna get into after the show, I'm gonna get into this like, oh, I want to watch something. What the fuck am I supposed to watch? Then there's literally like 1,000 things, and I start going, and then like, oh fuck, like I don't know what to watch. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking, damn, dude, I'm gonna have to start writing like a list on my phone of movies to watch because there's so much cool shit out there,
Well, the thing is, it's just like I got shit on Tubi, I got shit on like Amazon streaming, Shudder, Plex, right? So when I don't know what to watch, I'll sometimes jump around. Like yesterday, Rare Exports. I've been meaning to watch that for a long time.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
I think it's like 13 years old or something.
Yeah.
But I just never got to it. And then last night I was like, oh man, it's getting really, really kind of late. What time for a movie? And I saw it was like 82 minutes long. I was like, I got time for that for sure.
Oh hell yeah! I see these Krampus movies. Like these are like these like low budget like red box versions.
Dude.
There's like a bunch of them, and I'm like, damn, dude. Like the makeup looks kind of fun. You know what I mean? But I never watched any of them.
Good.
I only watched the big budget one with Toni Collette. You know what I'm talking? I never watched any of these low budget ones, and I'm like, there's got to be a good low budget one,
There's got to be.
There's got to be.
But here's the thing: who the fuck's gonna wade through all that shit? There's
I don't got time.
Krampus movies is almost as zombie movies now.
They are, dude. They are. And there's like there's this one that where he fights fucking Santa Claus that was kind of cool, and it was a
Christmas Horror Story.
Yeah, and Corey from Slipknot's like a DJ in there, and he's telling the story.
Yeah. I recommend that.
Look at this one from the Santa Claus. Tim Allen has a Santa Claus TV show on Disney, and Krampus right here, he's got his horn shaved down, and they have all these different Santa Clauses in there from throughout time. There's a Santa Claus verse. There's a Santa verse, in that new TV show.
Right. Look, that's a great makeup. I prefer that always to CGI. Obviously, I'm a practical effects dude.
Dude was big too. I think he's like 9 or 10 feet tall. And I just saw one of the episodes, so my kids were watching it.
That looks cool.
Yeah, I like this art right here too. I think this
That
is
looks
probably.
rad.
I think this. I've seen this artist before too. This Krampus one from the. He's usually he or she does work. I think for frightrags.com because I see a lot of their stuff on there, and I'm just like, dude, I want to get some of those shirts.
Oh man, Fright Rags is the shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like a lot of I'm like a walking advertisement for their
Fright
shit.
Rags. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always cool seeing like a new Krampus design. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean that's the thing. It's just like he's captured people's imagination.
Yeah, totally.
In a way that is unprecedented. Because just a few years ago, if you said the name Krampus, nobody would know what the fuck you were talking about.
Yeah.
And now everybody knows.
You know what else is a subgenre now?
Yeah.
Is uber badass Santa. That's one. And then there's a subgenre where it's Viking Santa. And
Violent Night is both.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, he's Viking
Violent
too?
Night is both.
Oh, really?
Have you seen that yet with
David I want to. And then I want to see Fat. I want to see Fat Man.
You're gonna groove. Yeah, you're gonna like the flashbacks.
And there's one with Goldberg. Goldberg's playing Santa Claus. There's a new Goldberg Santa Claus movie where he's a badass. And then there's a new one coming out with J.K. Simmons where he's a badass and The Rock's in it. It's like The Rock's new movie. So you have badass
like
Santa, like kicking ass Santa, you know, which is, you know, like there's two different subgenres, you know, and it's just like, fuck, you know, and I kind of like them in like a sick way. Like, I don't know. I'm like a sucker for it. And then I wanted to do it too. I wanted to do, you know, Kris Kringle Krampus Killer, like, you know, KKKKKKK.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you.
But I just like, I don't want to do it now.
When you check out, right? When you check out Violent Night, I promise you, you're gonna know the moments I'm talking about. There are moments in that, like flashbacks to like Santa Claus's early life, that are gonna give you a massive hard on.
I can't wait.
This is the shit.
Really? Damn.
Yeah. I'm assuming. I'm guessing. Yeah. Because I was just like, because I don't want to give it away.
I gotta show you some shit for my Hell War book, dude. Some of the stuff on this, because I did the script, but it's fucking loose. It was just like a baseline thing. I want to show you, man. There's some shit that I want to get your opinion on and things like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude.
I'm 40 pages in, dude. 40 pages into the
service
for Shiesel, man. I'm like 40 pages in, so there's just some things that like change, you know, over time, because I wrote it like a year ago, and so now I'm like, oh, you know, there's some stuff that I kind of wanted to give away, and then some stuff now I'm like, do I want to give that away just yet? You know,
right.
Because there's a lot of stuff, so I don't know, but there's something we can talk about. I thought, you might, when you're free. I know you're a busy dude.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I'm not that busy. Hey, what's up, pops? Dude, I'm in a new town. All my friends are fucking scattered to the Portlands. Yeah, so it's, you know, I don't exactly have a busy social life right now. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, me neither, man. I'm just working nonstop, and luckily I've been getting some commissions, and like I haven't even got to work on Hell War because I've been trying to make my my clients like happy with my work, you know. So
of course
that's cool.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how many I can actually do while working on the book a month, you know. And like push myself and to see what I'm capable of.
Dude, hell yeah. You know, I mean,
what I'm not capable of, you know. So
Preston has agreed to like some ungodly number of sketch cards.
Oh yeah,
the next 6-gun Guerrilla campaign.
No, that's cool, man. Sorry.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like he's volunteering to do sketch cards. Awesome. Sketch cards are easily my favorite thing to get. With the book.
Right. And they're easy to they're easy to store. You know, you could buy like fucking 10 of those things and keep them on your bookshelf and have all these different Comicsgate and whatnot fucking sketch cards from all this era of, and look back 20 years from now like, damn motherfucker. Like pull them out, you know, you fucking roll up a blunt and you know what I mean, put on some metal or whatever, like damn, dude, this is dope, you know.
To me that's awesome, right? Because it's just like you're getting the book that's by the artist, and then the artist does a little sketch. So there's because I know like with like when it comes to like my books, I wish I could operate the printing machine. I wish I could pour the ink or whatever it is.
Oh
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Totally,
so
dude.
It personalizes it. I mean, I just you know me, I fucking love art, and I love comic book art in particular. And holy shit, dude. Here's the thing. So it's like he's volunteering to do sketch cards. I'm like, fuck yeah. He's just like, I'm like, how many? And he's like, I think maybe like 150.
Yeah, that's what Sim did for his book, dude. He did a gang of them, you know.
I know. I remember.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for him. Or when Rini like committed to do like 50 of those
grinding
wood sculptures, like what is that called?
You burn
I know
it.
that there's gotta be a name for that. Yeah. Where she uses like a soldering iron or something, basically, to like sketch in the wood.
There's this new style of like, so at work, I like, sometimes I'll be bleaching a lot of shit and I'll get bleach on my stuff, and I wear black at work, you know. And the wife was showing me this thing where like people get black shirts and they bleach designs into the shirt with just regular bleach, so it's like its own art form now, you know. I'm like, that's fucking dope. I'm like, I want to start doing that with some black shirts, and then when it melts it, if you get a black shirt, it turns like, you know, beige and brown because the bleach turns it from black to that. And I'm like, dude, I want to do that, you know. I haven't really seen people do that too much, and just kind of maybe make some custom shirts, you know.
That'd be awesome.
Like on a campaign or something like that. Just, you know, some maybe like 5 or 10. It would be cool too to make like a different design per shirt. There's also some other ideas too of like that I've thought about for myself. I told Preston about it too, but then I found some other new shit too that sounds pretty dope for a campaign, for art stuff similar to sketch cards. But that might be, it might take as long, but it might be a little something cooler too, or equally as cool.
Well, dude, you know, yeah, no, I mean, if you want to, because I was asking, well, what? But if you want to keep that secret, that's cool. I
like to keep it a secret until I debut it. Now that's my new thing. And once I've debuted it, then I share it. Then I open the gates and I give people my secrets. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just like
it's kind of lame to keep your secrets, you know. But once it's out, then tell them how you did it.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is we all kind of steal from each other in this scene, right? Always in a good way, always in a positive way.
Got to.
Yep. You got to, because you just see what somebody else. It's like, oh fuck, why didn't I?
But you got to debut it. You got to own that debut. Like you got to. That's my lead. That's my lead.
Right.
You know.
So that doesn't belong to you. If other people then do what you did, that's got to be copacetic with you, right? Otherwise, you're not community minded at all, right? But you can be the first one to bust that shit, and that's totally fucking cool. No doubt.
Sorry, got a little lagged out there, but yeah, it's
for a second.
I saw my shit going bloop. Internet's been crazy for like a month, but there is. At the beginning of the stream, we're we're looking at some Joe Vigil or Tim Vigil, Crow and Faust artwork that's on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
I hit like I epicked it because I haven't gotten anything like on my timeline from Vigil, and I was like, dude, I love both their art, you know. And I remember having his brother on the stream when we were doing Suspiria, such an epic stream, and then having him, and I still got to go back and get his Cowboys in Hell book.
I know. I gotta hit him up.
I'm gonna get it.
Hit him up. Haven't had. That's the thing. He's not a Twitter guy. He's a Facebook guy.
No. Yeah, and like right now, I'm like, damn, I could have been like live on Facebook with this too. You know, there's a whole audience of like a lot of dudes that are, you know, and dudettes that are into this stuff. You know, that if we were on Facebook, they'd probably be like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Look, we're gonna bust books in 2024, right? We're gonna be busting IPs.
Yeah, and 2025 too. Yeah, for sure, dude. Like both years.
Yeah. We're gonna be busting IPs for like the next 2 years. Grinding.
Yeah, for sure.
That means also having to fucking promote. That in and of itself is a job. It's like having 2 jobs, really.
And for sure, man. This year, next, I mean, we're already in 2024 basically. So I'm like, this year, next year, fucking next few years, man. But hard next year. I was gonna say too that they have. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
No. I was just gonna say the pages I'm seeing from Preston, the pages I'm seeing from Maxi Diallo, right?
Yes.
It's just like I wrote these scripts like a while back, and it's just like, and it's just like almost kind of forgot about them, right? Because I'm always moving forward. I don't look back too much. And
yeah, me neither.
Suddenly seeing the pages, right? Like, oh, I remember writing this. And it's just it's so that's like one thing of like when I'm feeling down, I've got like a cork board up. And here, let me just show that shit. See the cork board above the monitor right there?
Fuck yeah, bro. That's awesome.
Right? That's all artwork from either Preston or Maxie, like for
Nice.
books that I wrote.
Oh yeah,
So
dude.
it's
Isn't
like,
I can
yeah,
only imagine.
just, you know, so I'm grateful for that shit, man.
I think one day,
Yeah.
like my wife's like, maybe one day, like if you ever, you know, you could have people like draw your shit for you. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, fuck yeah, I would do that. You know what I mean? I'd love to do that. You know, I would just like write
Oh,
it and
yeah.
then fucking bring Brian on, and we just kind of go write a book together and get some other artists and shit.
Fuck yeah.
And whatchamacallit? There was also another thing in the beginning of the stream, dude. They had a fucking, you probably got it too, from Zoop, that Conan book. You know what I'm talking about? Zoop had a Conan book with like Barry Windsor Smith and hardcover, dude, and like
No, I
it
missed
had
that.
all these. It's on Zoop right now. It got funded, but it's fucking dope, dude. And I was just talking about that and then talking about like how I backed Axel or John or whatever.
Yeah.
Like people were a little finicky about that shit like fucking a year ago. You know what I mean? They're fucking.
Yep. Yeah, well, yeah,
Zoop.
you know,
You're Zoop.
look, I went on there to just kind of like test the waters, right? Not just for myself, but for all of us, right? It's just,
Yeah.
just
And he's
like,
delivering.
let me,
It's delivering. It's delivering is
right?
what I was gonna say. And now it's delivering.
Right.
They're handling it. You know.
Right. You know, I was just like, okay, well, let's see if this is viable. And then, of course, there ended up being Whisper Network shit, gay ops out the ass. You
Yeah.
know, there were some people who were really fucking not happy,
Yeah.
really not happy. And there were people that I thought I could count on. If I thought had my back, they didn't have my back. That's okay. It's cool. I forgive them. I really do. Because I also understand that social pressure.
Yeah, that's, you know, and holding shit is, it's, you know, holding grudges is fucking soy. You know what I mean?
It's bad for you.
It's bad for you,
bad
and
for you.
it just sucks. But it's lame too. Like if another site's gonna come out too, you know what I mean? You know, I like Fund My Comic. That's where I want to launch my next shit.
That's where,
you know what I mean?
That's where we're going,
but
man.
If
That's
there's
where we're
people
going
on Zoop that aren't gonna go on Fund My Comic, obviously there's people still on Indiegogo that aren't backing Fund My Comic still. You know what I mean? So
right.
you have to almost like think of them too. You know what I mean? There's some people that have launched on both sites and they're still bringing in more money on Indiegogo because a lot of these cats haven't come over to Fund My Comic yet. You know, so trying to get people over there more, like that would be the way to do it. You know, like
that's the plan. Is it has to be a process, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest problem with that process, I personally really do believe that it's laziness.
Yeah, probably.
You don't want to go and create a new account. And
well, dude,
look,
hey, I ain't gonna lie.
I feel that. I get it.
Straight up, brother, you're preaching to the choir tonight. Okay, there's this book I wanted to get, and it's on Etsy. I don't got a fucking Etsy account, and I went on there. I was about to get the book, and there's all these fucking like things I got to go through. I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, I'll come back and do it because I don't like. I'm trying to set up the stream, trying to get topics for the stream. You know, trying to.
Well,
like, I'll come back to it. You know, but that could happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And maybe they're just like, I'll come back to it, and they never end up back in the book.
Yeah. You don't want people to have thinking twice about getting your shit. Right. You want them to just get your shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I mean, it's because that's the thing is like when I'm talking about those people, I'm one of those people. Right.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I just did it tonight. There's this book called There's this book called Nord. There's this book called Nord by some fucking indie dude, and it's a big ass fucking kind of book, you know, but it's a graphic novel, and the dude has like his own style, like, you know, I've never seen it. Some dude in Viking hell, you know, and it's all painted and beautiful, and it's like $35.
And
I wanted
great.
it. Yeah, dude, I'll show you. Nord. I'll check it out. I followed the dude on Twitter just so I could go back and get his shit, you know, because I'm into the Viking stuff. But I don't know, man. I went on there, and then I wanted to fucking, you know, I wanted to try to get it, and it had me try to sign up for all the stuff. I was like, I'll go back and do it later. But I think right now it is time for Black Metal Decode. All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
My favorite part of the show. Bring it on.
This one's an easy one. There's two people watching right now. All right, so if you guys can figure it out, luckily I got Brian here. He could probably do it. But if you guys, what black metal band is this? And I'm trying to make it real easy. We're doing easy ones. I'm not doing the show every Monday or Friday. I'm doing it whenever I can get in there and do it. So I wish I could do it.
I haven't seen one that perplexed me yet.
Yeah.
Which is almost a little disappointing, right? It's just like this one took me a hot minute though. That's actually like this. I had to like kind of go, oh, okay.
Well, it's tricky. It's tricky. The first letter is very deceitful. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
I
got a
hint to
comment.
the people in the peanut gallery. The
Oh,
artist.
Chris wins.
There
Chris
you
H got it.
I was gonna say, like, here's a clue. He did time.
Yeah.
Did time in a Norwegian prison for what was that, for murder? Or was that for burning down churches? I forget.
I think it was for the churches. I think it was for the churches. And there was some nice churches over there, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude,
I mean, they were a little
like
heavy-handed with their relics, bro. Like,
1500s,
come on, dude.
1600s?
Yeah,
It's
and over
like,
there,
okay,
they're not
it's
like,
just like, okay, all right, you're not into Christianity, you think it's impressive. Okay, all right. But then you're burning down a part of like your fucking national heritage.
yeah, and like you see, it's pretty nice over there, dude.
The Viking shit barely like hardly any more Viking shit made it. They don't have that much old shit, you know?
Oh yeah, and like
Most of it's
pretty
made out of
fucking
wood.
nice. It's nice over there. Like everyone kind of like they're socialist, but it fucking works over there because the country's so small. You know what I mean? Like it just works.
Too.
It's tiny as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's gonna work on big butt fucking America. You know what I mean? It might not work that here, but I mean, a tiny little fucking nugget over in the up in the fucking ice, it might in one little country, it might work. And everyone there,
be doing.
You know, like there's this YouTuber I follow, and there's this. Okay, let's see here. And he's out and on YouTube. Okay, I'll have to see that. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
There's this there's this YouTuber I follow. He's like an MMA fighter, and he does a bunch of shit. And he's Norwegian, but he's here and he goes all over the place to fight people and things like that, right? But he says if I could, I would like go back and I live in Norway. It's like the best place to live. Like he's like, you get in he lives in like California. He's like, dude, you get in traffic, thing. Everyone's like, fuck you, cutting everybody off over there. Everyone's like, oh, go ahead, like just fucking nice and respectful and things like that. Everybody respects each other and things like that. So I don't know, like I don't know how like
people on earth.
I don't know how the fathers were of these dudes that were fucking making them feel this way. You know what I mean? Because ultimately it goes down to the father. So I don't know if they were beating the fuck out of them or coming down too hard on them or grounding them. You know what I mean? Or lack thereof father. I don't, or just society over there was that fucked up for them to do that. I don't know. I just don't know. So it's
and then you have like, I mean, look, highest standard of living, happiest people on the planet. That's a fact, right? Yeah. And then you have like fucking Anders Breivik, man. Like that is, I'm still fucked up by that. You're familiar with that, right? With that motherfucker.
Mayhem.
No, Anders Breivik. He was a guy who was like a nationalist, a white nationalist, and I believe this was in Norway or was this in Iceland? I'm getting them all mixed up now. What happened was there was a left-wing party there, and they basically have like a summer camp for the kids on an island.
Ooh.
And he dressed up as a cop. He detonated a bomb in the city, and he went around on the island and he killed like 28 people.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I never heard of that. Yeah. I'm horrible with names too.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the black metal bands too. Like, I forgot the other guy. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. I think it was in Emperor. Is that what it was? I don't know. I know Mayhem.
You're thinking of Count Mayhem.
One of the dudes. I forgot.
Euronymous, but got fucking shanked.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who shanked him?
One of the dudes.
Ortiz was the keyboard player, right? I'm getting that's terrible, dude. I've got like really, how did I forget all that shit? I used to be all about that shit, man.
Yeah, I was like really fucking like witty and snappy. I got to start taking that cod liver oil from over there and eating those raw almonds. My buddy, to get rid of that brain fog. But there's a book I wanted to show tonight. It's actually our boy Forest Publishing. Remember Richard Embry?
Yes.
Now that Matt's the book cover for him one time. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just gonna grab something. I'm listening to you, brother.
And this is it right here, Blood and the Sword. I guess I'll play the trailer real quick.
Yeah, it looks cool. Man, I got to do a sword and sorcery book. That's like one of the genres that's on my list.
Oh yeah, and Blood and the Sword's on Fund My Comic. It's a 20-page comic, and it's fucking it's $5, Brian. Oh, what's up,
Really?
Ultimate Kahuna? How you doing, brother? What up?
What up?
We got some news with him coming in a few hours too. So stay tuned. Yeah.
Hi.
Whatchamacallit? But yeah, this book is fucking $5 on Fund My Comic, and it's a
That's amazing.
fantasy. Yeah, and he's gonna be coming on Open the Gates on Thursday after Horror Movie Club, and he's gonna be talking about it. You're welcome to join, Brian.
I will if I have the energy. You know me. It's like if I can hop in, I'll hop in. At the very least, I'll like be in the chat, like talking with you a little bit.
For sure. If I could, man, I would do these shows earlier too, man. It's just kind of hard. But
no, I know. I know. I'm just trying to be a good boy.
No,
I've actually been pretty good about like going to bed at a regular time and everything. It's just like I got to be careful because I just naturally, tend towards vampire hours. So.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
I'm usually catching my chips around 2:30.
Yeah, I usually go to bed like around midnight or so, or sometimes 1 if I'm pushing it. But this book looks cool, man. The art looks pretty cool. He's he's got this these two brothers right here, band of brothers. There's 2 of them. He's Valen and his buddy Mango. He's like this kind of like this reptilian warrior.
Yeah.
And
a lizard man.
He's
either a lizard man or a snake man.
Yeah, and he's been giving the book out to people, like having them read it, and people say it, like Bancroft and a bunch of other cats, and they're saying that it's pretty cool. I haven't read it yet. I just took some little quotes that he gave me, and yeah, man, you guys can get the book for $5. I mean, you can't really beat it with shipping. It's $10, dude. And he's got a cool shirt with Mango, and him and his daughter came up with the character Mango. So it's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Is he printing on like on newsprint or something like that? How can he afford to do this, or is he just doing this knowing he's going to take a hit? I think
he knows he's going to take a hit, but I mean, like, that's a good thing. I'm like, you can get your name out there. I'm like, you have no idea like how important it is to get those books in people's hands. That's not a bad idea. You're going to be known as the guy that did that. You know what I mean? No one has done this shit. You know what I mean? It's not a bad idea. In retrospect, I'd probably, if I could, I would do that. I'm not going to do that, but I would do that if I could.
Right. But especially for somebody like him, that's, just now trying to get attention to this book. $5, you can't beat that, dude. I'm buying that shit right now, dude.
Oh shit! I don't know if you're watching, but he's gonna love that. He speaks volumes about you, brother. I mean, we used to do the Western Roundup together. Ultimate Kahuna says, just saw a play. How are you guys doing? I've been told I have one of the biggest Iron Age book and comic collections. Oh, that's fucking awesome. And
I've got one long box full.
I did a piece for this too.
New one,
for the whatchamacallit, for the that was for this Blood and the Sword. So I got Mango right here, fucking up some goblins, and then I think that's Valen right there. And yeah, he told me just do a metal piece.
Oh shit! Hold on, dude. That looks great.
So
and
he's like, "Hey, dude, how come he's like the heads are small, right?" I'm like, "Well, actually, they have armor, and then I'm making them super swole because I'm going through this kind of like phase of like super buff dudes. You know what I mean?
Right,
And I got like this weird like body, you know, like the Street Fighter 2 comic books, you know, like the
Dude,
Saget, you know,
high
big old Saget
adventure.
and like Bisley. So and I'm like, and they got armor, so I'm like, but I could totally like change the head or whatever you want, you know what I mean? Like, but I always do that. I try to like when I'm working with a client, like, you know, I want them to be part of the piece, you know what I mean? I
Sure.
want them to be happy about it.
Sure, but at the same time, they should have that same courtesy towards you.
Oh,
Like,
thanks,
that's
dude.
something I always believe in, is that, like, oh God, something happened this week that I got to share with you.
Mhm.
Preston is like, dude, like, I like, you know, the scene, I want to change it. I want to do this instead. And I
Okay.
was like, he's like, dude, like, I'm feeling this. And I'm just like, well, you know, I don't know. And I was just like, he's feeling it. Let the man do his fucking thing. It was one of those moments I
That
had
was
to
funny,
remind
dude.
myself.
Hey, dude, you
Oh,
froze after
over
that.
here.
You froze. You went, what? So what happened?
And
Okay, so he came up with something.
so yeah, no, it was one of those moments where I was just like, yeah, but what about my stuff? That's not what I was just like, oh, the only thing that matters is the awesome fucking comic book. That's it. If he's when your artist is telling you, when your artist is Preston and he's telling you, I want to make this shit more awesome, shut the fuck up and stay out of his way.
Well, you know, it's a collaborative process, and it's magic. Unfortunately,
It is.
I mean, I know I heard Rick Rubin say that shit. He's got the new book on. Vaughn was talking about it, but I mean, I heard someone drop that shit from one of the things, and yeah. Oh yeah, I did a review on that, and I didn't do the cover, Kahuna, but again, thank you for that, brother.
Yeah, well done, Vaughn.
Vaughn, yeah, man. Like some people were complaining that the book left you on a cliffhanger. Some people,
yeah, it leaves you on a cliffhanger, but it's a nice thick book. There's nothing wrong with it.
People complain about that. You know,
I know it's volume
I
one.
like the way it ended. I don't mind if something ends. I don't mind if something ends on a cliffhanger, and then he says it's going to be 3 issues too. You know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me.
There you go.
So
not at all.
some people are like, oh, I want the whole. You know, so
that's good though.
It is what it is. Yeah.
But that's good.
I mean,
want to leave people hungry.
Like, why
you
not?
Want them,
you know,
that's the whole point of a cliffhanger, right? It's like
Yeah.
Flash Gordon. Oh man, some of the Flash Gordon movie serials, it would end with him like falling into like a volcano, and you see a little doll going down into like a volcano, and like how will Flash Gordon survive this? Come next week, and you'll see the new shit, right? And then it would like that moment never even happens. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm gonna stop it. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, no, I'm okay.
I feel that like too. Like sometimes I feel like, damn, dude, I just kind of want to put out like, I don't know, maybe like a 30 pager every year and a half or so. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or every year, you know, and then I don't know. It just depends though. Like if I'm gonna do a book like a consistent character once a year, probably gonna do 20 pages. I don't see nothing wrong with that. And then make it like at a black and white,
well,
like at a cool price. You know, it's a weird. It's a weird
that's
thing.
The thing too is a lack of color. You don't have to pay a colorist. I mean, you were coloring your own shit, right?
Yeah, I was, and it's very very time consuming. It's fun, but I really just like the black and whites, man. Like hanging out with you a lot, you know, and like I don't know. People tell me that like my stuff looks okay, you know, it doesn't necessarily need color, so I don't know. I've been trying to lean into that a little more and just seeing there's a lot of things you could do with just black and white with washes, and I haven't used Zipatone or nothing, but effects and whiteout and whatnot. Kahuna says, what comic in the Iron Age or in the indie sphere has impressed you the most this year?
This year? Fuck. I didn't. Oh man, because I was, you know, in financial dire straits for a while, so I couldn't back a lot of shit that I wanted to back. Cryptidnals was last year, right?
Yeah, Cryptidnals was last year, but for sure the Cryptidals, Kahuna. But they actually broke their book down into 6 books, and now they're selling it in comic book stores. So under Black Tooth, and that's by the 656 guys. It's border horror. It's like Lord of the Rings meets cryptic border horror. Like it's with it's basically Juarez, El Paso, Texas. Oh, you'd love it, man. It's a
It's
black
so
and white
good.
too.
It's so good. It's just like it's a genre that that they're helping to define.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I really like Vaughn's book, man. That was really good. I like Terror in the Trenches. I thought that was really well written. I've said it probably the fifth. That's the one Brian's holding up right now. And every word balloon. There's a lot of like if I don't know, man. Like if you're into writing, you know, like every word balloon has this awesome little nugget of dialogue, or just
Yes, yes.
and
Vaughn,
the
yeah,
artwork is very
Vaughn.
Batman the Animated Series inspired, maybe a little manga or Bruce Timm. It's a
Oh, for
badass
sure.
book, dude. And
Yeah,
that one
yeah.
he has it on at his website riseagaincomics.com, and he's also doing a book right now called Kataru Witch Hunter, which is a gothic kind of book, American comic book, kind of manga inspired, but it's American comic book inspired, kind of like Vampire Hunter D and whatnot. So I don't know, man. There's a
Yeah, it
lot
looks
of
tight,
books.
man.
So.
I back that shit too.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Very similar to the Midwest ones.
And Vaughn's
Yeah,
just like, hey, thanks for backing the book, man. I'm just like, dude, don't thank me. I want to read
Oh,
that
for
shit.
sure. I backed that one, and I got the Necrovanicon because I'm really into his designs. I love the way he does
God.
that.
Yeah,
I would love to have
that
him
too.
do my fucking layouts, like inside the book, like the back matter, and if some of the other
That's
stuff.
the
Like he's the
thing.
guy that I would hire.
That's the thing is
He would be
Vaughn
my
actually
go-to.
has art skills.
Yeah, and good good character design too. Like someone was
Fantastic.
on Bancroft's stream, and I forgot to oh yeah, Vaughn could design really good characters, actually, really good.
Yeah,
There's one thing.
he's just an awesome guy too. He's like one of us.
There's
So, yeah, we love us some Vaughn.
and this one's called Terror in the Trenches, and it's a golden age. Was it Bronze Age character?
Golden Age.
Golden Age character. Sorry,
Golden
I get my
Age.
bronze and my golden and silver's always mixed up.
Public domain character. But
And,
you know what I love about this?
Yeah.
Because I had the characters in the public domain. Dynamite was doing a book for a little while with this character. And that's the thing that's really, really interesting about this. Because I was thinking, why didn't he just bust his own IP? He could have just easily just changed the title and the costume a little bit and had his own IP. This is an embarrassment to Dynamite and to like the other Black Terror comics that came out. Because you look at those, right, which are official, which came through like an official publisher, and then there's this little crowdfunded indie book, and it blows it out of the fucking water.
It does. And I remember he would be on Eric Weathers' stream, and he was talking about, I don't know if I want to do this, and I would be, because at that time when I was working, I would always catch those fools. It would be on like lunchtime or whatnot. I'm like, nah, Vaughn, don't do it. Do your own book. Don't do like a He's like, nah, I'm gonna do Terror. Nah, I think I'm gonna do Terror. And good thing he did it. You know what I mean? Because and so these characters, sometimes they need a kick in the ass. There needs to be someone to come and fucking kick them.
They do. The ass.
And like the Shadow needs to get kicked in the ass. The Phantom needs to get kicked in the ass. The Spider needs to get kicked in the ass. The Black Bat needs to get kicked in the ass. Doc Savage needs to get kicked in the ass.
Yes,
like they all need to get kicked in the ass.
Yeah, for sure.
I would have Vaughn and you fucking write them on. I think we'd be good.
Yeah, man. It's like he gave him a throne.
Yeah, the gas chamber.
Yeah, all of this shit is not from the original
book.
It's not from like the original character. Vaughn came up with this shit. So the mythology is like almost all his. And it's just a really great fun book. Splatterfest. Oh yeah, and then there's an art gallery in the back. It's like Dan Lawless, Jeff Lastly, bunch of people in here.
For sure, brother.
Maybe just,
I'll shoot
what
you the
did
link.
he say? I missed that.
He's gonna jump on real quick with this.
Oh, cool. More the merrier.
Shoot him the link. Yeah.
Chubb did this one. He made the Black Terror look very sort of like British punk rock in like circa like 1984.
Right.
See, that's the thing too, is I
love it. The year.
Back the new Merry Boys.
Oh yeah, that was good too. Like, and like he kind of got me with the deer in the headlights. Like I can't think of any of the books. I've read so many good books, and I can't think of any of them. You know what I mean? Merry Boys 2 is the shit. Bro, like it's just like a wash. Go back Monster MD. That's a great one. All of Brian's fucking our boy Brian right here. Go back in his Six Gun Gorilla books. Those books will make you cry. You know, so and that's not just because he's my homie, but yeah, I highly recommend.
Dude, when I found out that like people were telling me like, man, that scene brought me to tears, I was just like,
yeah,
right? Because you can't. If I'm writing a scene like that, I gotta
Yeah.
be fucking worked up emotionally. Otherwise, how do you expect anyone else to be? Right?
And
then when you
that's what
find
I'm
out
doing with my
that
book right now.
translated.
Yes, and I have to have that. I like want that in every story I tell now. Like even if it's like it's every story I put out, I want like a moment like that. And
Yes.
for me, that's like the main thing for the
Yes.
writing. Like that for me, that trumps everything.
Yeah, but
and
it's
no matter silly and splatstick it is, I gotta find it.
Yeah,
It's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, like, you know, that's what made the that's the thing. I think most works of art, certainly narrative works of art, they need a scene or a moment that is the heart, right? And Monster MD, it's that scene where he shoots up what's her name again? The invisible chick? Not Beverly, not Heidi, right? Because she's like, you know, she's been wounded, and so he needs to patch her up, and in order to do that, he needs to make her visible, and he shoots her for this illuminating fluid, and then he looks at her, and he's just like, and she just looks like an angel.
Howdy, fellas. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, dude? Kahuna? Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm going to take this hat off. It's awesome, but it doesn't really work with the headphones. There we go.
Oh, you discovered that, huh? Yeah, I found out the hard way, too.
I know, man. I know. It's rough. So what you guys up to? Is this like a regular thing you do, buddy?
I mean, I just started doing it. I usually do it on like Mondays and things like that, but I kind of took a break. It was a new thing I started doing, but I was just figured I would come and do it tonight. There was some stuff I wanted to talk about, and I thought were kind of cool. So then I hit my boy Brian up, Brian Kreisgau. I don't know if you know Brian. He's a writer. He's done the 6 Gun Gorilla books. I don't know if you've read those or familiar with them.
Sounds familiar, but I couldn't play. I don't own them, so I couldn't place it exactly. Nice to meet you, Brian, Matt.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I think you guys would have a lot to talk about. It's 6 Gun Gorilla is obviously a Western book, and it's public domain. And what Brian did with it,
I love me a good Western book. It's fantastic.
Nice.
So I think you definitely dig that.
Although it's funny because like I've gotten messages from people that are like, man, I hear all these people are talking about you, talking about what a great writer you are, right? And I'm just like, I got an ego, right? And that shit makes me feel good to hear that. And they're like, but I don't like Westerns, and your Westerns are Western books. So do you have any books that aren't Westerns? And I'm like, it's a Western with a fucking gorilla.
It's stretching Western a bit, you know.
it's weird Western is what it is.
Well, that weird Western is good Western, honestly. Like, frankly, looking at it, like a lot of the like, you guys ever read any of the Robert E. Howard Western stories back in the day?
Oh yes.
Oh, yes. They're weird, but they're good, dude. They're so.
I bet they're like some of the best. I haven't read any of them just because of.
You guys remember that story where he and the Mexican guy discover the vampire, and the most unlikely ending to that story occurs, which is he just goes fisticuff with a vampire until day breaks and it burns him.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the most metal ending to a vampire story I've ever heard.
Dude, that's the thing.
That's what I'm reading right now. I got Solomon Kane. That's what I'm reading.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, no, like when I think of older writers, I like Tolkien's good, but Howard's my favorite. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm not a real big. Like I'm not really well read. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I was. But Howard is my favorite writer. So it's like, you know. I am very well read, and he is also right up there for me too.
Yeah.
Like I think I read 109 books last year or something like that. It was a lot.
Nice. I'm a slow reader, but like, English lit degree and all that shit, and also always never stopped. You know what I mean? Like I don't see like the learning process once you graduate from college. It's just like it's like you don't stop. You just keep learning.
Yeah, I skipped that whole college step for me,
just for fun. I'm sorry, you just said.
Oh, I said I skipped that whole college bit. I decided at the wise age of 10 it wasn't for me. Yeah.
Wise choice.
I know. I'm looking at all my friends who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars wasting on a college degree they don't use, and
that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's highway robbery. It's highway robbery. It really.
Yeah. Story as old as time.
Yeah. Man.
So Brian, where you sell your books on Amazon, or where do you sell, brother?
Well, gee, I usually sell my campaigns. I am going to open a Shopify.
Are you gonna open it up on like fundmycomic.com or something like that?
Oh well, the next campaign is going to be on fundmycomic.com because I had it on Indiegogo, and it did good, but it didn't do great, and that was because we didn't have any new artwork. So I was like,
that having a good visuals is critical, even for novels. It's critical in regards to indie and Iron Age marketing. I've noticed. Like R.H. Snow, she always has like her own little sketches that she's done, and they're not professional, but having the visual, it really helps. It captures people more than just simply words.
Oh, dude. Well, that's the thing. It's a visual medium, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why I always say that the artist is at least, it's like it used to be all about the artist when I was a kid, right? And you would hear very little about the writers, right? They were kind of like the janitors there, right? And and now it's shifted in favor of the writers, but I always feel it's just like the artist's always going to be like about 5% more, just due simply to the fact that if you pick up a comic and you open it and the art makes you go, yeah,
I've had a few of those. It's really disappointing. Yeah, no, I'll be honest, like there's this one I started reading recently, Coney Waves. And it's very simple. It's it's a very blunt kind of storytelling, but some of the art is dynamic enough. It keeps me interested even when the story isn't maybe spectacular.
Right. That's the most important thing, is to keep things moving.
Yeah. Attractive characters helps too in a visual medium, but who's keeping track?
Yeah, I mean they don't have to be attractive. They have to be interesting. Right.
I was just memeing, but yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Are you from Hawaii?
I mean, like,
oh, sorry, Brian.
No, I mean, like, I like a nice drawing of like a nice axe. You know what I mean? Like a nice Jennifer Lopez butt or something.
Nice like assets, yeah.
Yes. And although, say what you were going to say, Matt, because there's one thing I do want to bring up about this.
Oh, for sure. No, I was going to say, I was just saying, are you from Hawaii?
Originally, yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, my mom grew up on Maui, was adopted by a Hawaiian family over there. My dad went there for a vacation. 5 years later, a wife and 2 kids. He comes back home, and here we are.
That's what I hear. Like, you go there, like my cousin, like I had a cousin, and well, that was it. He never came back.
Yeah.
You would go there, dude, and just fall in love with the place. And I know bosses at my other job, they did a prime from that place.
I almost quit school and moved there when I was 16.
I bet.
I was this close. And three guesses what changed my mind.
Oh, it had to be a chick, right?
Yep. Brian had it. Yep.
Yeah, it had to be a girl, because I was thinking, because sometimes you'll move someplace that you shouldn't have, and then you also won't move
for the wrong
right?
reason. Yeah.
Same reason. Yeah. It's a girl. It's a woman.
Always, man. Always.
Always.
Anyway, I now have the only girl I need right here. That's all I need. Yeah. Only girl
sorry,
I need.
Cultural appropriation. I'm feeling very fucking triggered and offended by the fact that you.
Oh, bro! I've had people come after me, an actual Hawaiian come after me on my, because I don't look Hawaiian. I don't. But I've had people come after me on my channel. Calling me out, like, oh, cultural appropriation, or it's like, that's so disrespectful to call yourself the ultimate kahuna. And one guy, he called me a Hawaiian word I'd never heard before. I had to freaking look it up. Really? I look it up. It turns out it means fatty fish.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
That one, I don't know if it was meant, if it was actually mean or not, but it made me chuckle. It was great. Once you're big enough to get haters, that's when you're like, I'm enough of a threat. They actually care about what I have to say.
Right.
No, that's fantastic, man.
Man.
But yeah, might as well show this off since you guys probably haven't seen it.
Oh yeah. Nice
my beautiful shelf. I have a combination of Iron Age books and comics up there, a couple of Bondi Sinays as well.
Nice. Yeah, dude.
Classic right there.
Love the Bondi Sinays, man. That's where it's at.
Actually, you guys are talking about Westerns. And I mentioned Bouncer.
Ooh.
Fuck,
Check that out, dude. This is a French bande dessinée kind of a Western comic about a one-armed bounty hunter. Not bounty hunter. He's a one-armed bouncer. But yeah, it was in a bar.
That's in English.
Oh, it's in English. Yeah. That's. Can I show that page? Yeah. It's not that bad. But it like if Game of Thrones makes you queasy, this story isn't for you. But if the harsher elements of a story don't bother you, this book is like, look, this is all French art, so but look how thick this boy is. This thing's awesome.
That's where I want to go, man. Like for me, I'm like the books I want to make them big, dude. You know what I mean? Like I just feel that like that's the type of industry we're into with like Iron Age and whatnot. That we're boutique, dude, and like stuff is big. Like for me, I want to draw big, so I want big format, dude.
There we go. Look at that. Every page is like this.
Every single
that, man. Not like Mobius. Not like
I got an Elric book.
He was inspired by Blueberry for sure. In fact, he has a couple wanted posters in the background are from Blueberry.
Have you heard of Undertaker by Ralph Mayer?
I've heard of it. I haven't had a chance to go through it yet, though.
I don't mean neither. I want to get it. I follow him on Instagram, but I'm just like, dude, have you heard of that one, Brian? Undertaker by Ralph Mayer. It's a BD book. Dude, it looks sick, bro. I've been following him on Instagram because any like Western comic book artist that's still like alive, I'm gonna follow him.
Oh man,
I love that.
The French win in regards to your average art. The French just win.
Yeah, they totally just destroy. Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, I like Japanese art and a lot of good American comics too. But every time I open a French comic, I'm like, it's a painting.
Yeah.
Every damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because basically they don't have to work on tight schedules, right? They're not worried about turning in the monthly book. It's like you're in fucking France, dude. It'll be ready when it's ready.
Yeah.
Drink some wine. How about the most nasally accent on the planet and make art? Damn it.
Yeah, no, I mean because normally it's like in a typical American comic, you know what I'm talking about, where the artist is kind of skimping, right, and saving, their energy and their time and focus for like, a big scene, right? And you don't get that in French comics.
No, not frequently. Like you have good and bad comics everywhere that have comics, but like we're talking laws of averages here. And like I'll be honest too, like a lot of like there are some good comics out there that really fundamentally should not have been comics. Like I've read Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
There is so much talking in that book. So much like he has these tiny little scenes and you're supposed to read like it's almost entirely word bubble. I'm like, this is one of the best of all time?
Yeah.
All right, sure.
Yeah, dude, it was a game changer. I remember when that and Watchmen came out around the same time.
I was going to say that was around the same time, wasn't it?
Yes. Those two comics were game changers, absolute game changers, hugely influential. You're still seeing the reverberations. Unfortunately, also led to like a lot of shitty comics where it's like they stopped making the heroes. It's like suddenly everybody's walking around with a fucking sword and a gun.
Oh man, guys, look, the Superman's dark again. Shit.
Yeah, got long hair. What up, Sim?
What up, Sim?
Wait, we got to do this right.
Yeah.
Sim the Ink Slayer.
Metal. That was very metal of you, sir.
Yeah,
are you familiar with Sim?
What was that?
Are you familiar with Sim?
No, I have no idea, man.
Oh, okay. That's our homie.
He's a very, very sexy Quebecois. Really, and I know it makes guys feel uncomfortable when I tell them that they're sexy. It's like, I'm not saying that you're sexy. I don't want to bone you. I'm just saying.
I'm talking like an artistic sexy, man.
It's just like it's as plain as the nose on your face. Say, the sky is blue. You're fucking sexy.
It's like this ain't a gay like find you in a back alley kind of thing, man. It's just a compliment. Just take it. Like in the alley.
Or basically, we're like the holy apostles of French comics. We both kind of have.
Oh yeah. You and Sim.
A fucking copy of May the Barons. Like
they just like push it in front of me and like make me like jealous, like tease me and shit with all their meta barons and all their stuff. I'm just like,
wait. So if you guys are into French comics, have you guys ever seen any of Berenger's work?
Behringer. Oh, that sounds familiar, but I can't name anything that they've done.
This might be worth it. Let me see. Two-sided also, but yeah, Behringer. He did the illustrated Lovecraft books.
Oh fuck!
And every page looks this good or better.
Oh my god!
Fuck!
Can you turn to a page of show me what the Shoggoths look like? Because he got, I mean, that's like the real orgasm of horror moment.
Oh yeah. Ooh, here we got our little cosmic friends here. I don't know.
The old ones. Yeah, the old ones like a frozen.
Come on, camera. I believe in you, camera.
Yes, them.
Oh, it's not. There we go. That's better. But yeah,
that looks stunning. Oh,
yep,
so it's
he's done two. He's friends with that guy who did a bunch of that recent Lord of the Rings art. That's basically become the standard now. But yeah, he did Call of Cthulhu, Mountains of Madness, and I think they're working on another one here soon. But yeah, more. We got more Western BS as well. Got Durango.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Shit right there.
Now, unfortunately, if you want to read this, you need to find a translation because this is all French. Beautiful art, but all French. And I do not speak French.
No, and another thing that drives me crazy is like I would love to read Italian comics, but like there are virtually no Italian comics released here in the States. Like Diabolic, I would love to read the original Diabolic stories. They exist only in Italian. And then they made a computer game about Diabolic, and that was in fucking French too, and wasn't translated in English.
I want to get the Sumerian also. The Sumerian is badass.
Well, I imagine manga people were like that for so long because they like nothing. They didn't really. When did they start translating that into English? I feel like it's like wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it took a long time. When I was in high school, the Japanese animation kids. This is back when they called it Japanimation.
I remember that.
I've heard about that. I'm born '94, so that's a little late, little early for me.
But. Right. No, I mean that's why I try to explain this shit, right? And what we got here in the United States was a trickle of the animation and none of the comics. Then Frank Miller is just like, yo, there are these comics that I love. I can't read them because they're only in
Japanese. Kanji and stuff.
And it was the Lone Wolf and Cub series, which is a classic, right? And that's where the ninjas in Daredevil come from. They come from
the Hand,
Lone Wolf and Cub comic. So then they translated that, and they got comic versions of Fist of the North Star.
This of the North Star was kind of like inspired JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It was very American. Yeah. It felt like it was very America inspired.
Very
all the characters and all the
Patrick
Swayze. It was the 80s action hero and all that.
That's my shit.
Stallone. That's my shit too, man. Like that and Vampire Hunter D and Berserk and Akira.
Yes.
I haven't read as much manga as I would like. There's a few that I really like. I have a little bunch of the deluxe Berserk editions. I still need to finish them.
I have one Berserk comic, and then I mostly watched anime. I don't have really any of the books, but I've seen them, and I'd like to go back and get some of them.
You're a comic guy. You there's a few you gotta check. Like there's even some that they're not at the legendary status of some others, and they never will because of what. Like there's a one called Haikyuu, and there's a great anime for that as well, but. The way he does layouts in that book, like even if you've never read manga, so where you have to go backwards, basically.
Oh yeah,
your eye travels through the page so easily, considering it's opposite orientation. It's insane.
Yeah, I have Berserk. That was the first. I have that. That was the first manga I got. My buddy bought me the first issue, the first book of it.
It is really good, but it's one I'm very hesitant to recommend for some pretty obvious reasons.
If you're metal,
I got some metal for you guys.
Not metal, then you might want to be like.
Actually, speaking of I want your guys' opinion on this. So you guys have both read Berserk, obviously a little bit. Well, have you guys read Vagabond?
No,
Vagabond, I keep hearing about. I still haven't read it.
I don't have it here with me, and it's not the big deluxe edition, but Vagabond, I think the art may be better than Berserk. It's different. I think like his backgrounds are more detailed, and it's
everybody's saying, and Kentaro Miura was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No doubt.
So yeah, no, there's somebody that could go toe to toe with him, or even surpass him. That's saying a lot.
I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy's a maniac. Like you look at his backgrounds, I'm like, you'd almost have to trace this over a photo of a real like lively jungle. I don't know how you do this.
Yes,
sometimes people do that. Like even the big guys do it, you know, like because it has to look a certain way by a certain deadline, so they'll do it, you know.
I'm more for that than the people who are trying to like. I don't know how everyone feels about AI. I think there's certain applications where it doesn't bother me very much, but the idea of replacing art in writing or physical form.
It's not going to happen, right? The artists have nothing to worry about, right? Because AI is never going to have a soul, right?
It will not. Right? And most of the people will have an extra finger somewhere.
Right. But the writers, you can't tell me an AI couldn't write a Marvel movie script. Right? You know it could.
Well, the modern one, I'm pretty sure some of them, like I as a
don't surprise me.
Yeah, as a joke for content, a friend of mine on the Drink with Crazy Gilded, Maji, a friend of mine who lives close by, whatever, 2.5 hours. She's basically in Canada for me. But I went over to her little island and we watched the Marvels. That dumpster fire of them. I missed because of like the boat was late. I missed the first 15 minutes. I sit down, I look over, I'm like, did I miss anything? And she's like, no.
What was
like
this?
we're watching? I'm like, I don't think this was written by people. It can't have been.
Oh, Marvels. For some reason, I thought I heard you say the Marvels.
This Marvels movie don't make no sense.
Yeah,
you guys ready for some metal?
I'm ready for metal.
You need to.
You guys got to check this out. Check this out. Okay, so you guys ever listen to Saxon?
Of course. Do I have a functioning crank? Yes.
I would say I'm familiar with them.
Cool. Well, check this out.
What?
It's a nice forest.
Much in the south, where was exposed. We shall take King Alfred's crown. It's a matter if he stands or flees.
Oh my god.
We will bring it to his knees.
They're embracing everything that's silly about the Jackson. I love it.
Oh, that's fantastic, dude. He just looks like a Viking. He's not. He's in the wrong style of dress here.
Right. He's been in like a couple of Viking movies too.
That does not surprise me.
I remember a time when like I'd seen every Viking movie ever made, and it's just like now floodgates are open.
Ooh, that was nice. That was
This is the end of Django. We'll send you back from whence you came.
That is metal, dude. That guy sounds a lot like the that. For me, I like the growly vocals, but I like it kind of tossed in.
It's embracing the silliness of metal. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain side of metal. Leaning into that shit. But yeah, there's like that stuff that you always thought was kind of goofy. Yeah, it's also kind of awesome.
It started off very black metalish, but it's feeling feeling a little more power metal now. Yeah.
We'll have your head, you pagan scum. We'll smash thy skull.
Opera-like structure.
Your skin will soon be fresh. You sons of whores, Satan's spore. Come get some more. You spineless dogs. The roots will take your eyes. We're all about to die.
Oh, that's
Ready
so
to
metal,
rumble.
dude.
Miscreants, firstly Lord, you godless ones. We'll drench this field in blood. We'll send you to your God. Bitches rude, oh God. We'll run you through. We'll break your legs like twigs and cut you all like pigs. There's no truth inside. Bloodlust fills our savage heart. Who will live or die?
Yeah, this is awesome.
Able to get down
So
right now.
Nothing
clean.
wrong with you if you don't like it.
Turning the song into a battle between two different bands that's
Yes.
freaking smart, dude. It's such a cool
Yeah.
idea.
Such a good
Right?
idea.
There's like an opera-like structure.
Yep.
That's metal, dude. Hold on, I need that.
Yeah, dude.
Do I have it? I do have it.
There's something just very funky about this.
Blood will soak this battlefield. Who will live and who will die?
Time to kick back and just kind of survey the carnage. Coming in, boys.
Another day, another fight. The battle rages on. There is no truth inside. Twin sexes of hurricanes. Identity on the battle stands. The will determine all. The world is English land. Sexes of Vikings. Sexes of
How could this end other than a tie?
Had to get
That
my
was pretty
battle
cool,
dude.
dude. I
music
like
ready.
hearing
Is that the whole
action
thing?
come in there. Like,
It's such a
yeah.
good idea.
Dude, it's that's fucking fire right there.
I didn't think they'd make a video for it. Like, I first heard it on the album, you know, the fucking album's the shit. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, this song's dope. Like, it fucking bumps. And I'm like, oh, and they
Yeah,
dropped the video
wow,
like
yeah.
2 days ago. And I was like, right there, like, fucking in the YouTube chat.
Cool, dude. Yeah. It reminds me of like an old Manowar song a little bit.
Oh, dude, totally.
Oh,
Totally.
yeah.
But that's what's so funny about it, and that's what's so great about it, is that it's acknowledging the silliness of a certain branch of metal, Manowar, Saxon for sure, right? But it's
Yeah, for sure.
embracing it and kind of also going like, yeah, it's like, yes, it's silly, but it's also kind of awesome.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
it's for
it's
sure.
cheese, you know it's cheeseball
Bridge
going
of
in.
the
You know what I
Blood.
mean?
Well,
It's
it's
fucking metal.
like wrestling when it was still good.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they've done everything you could think of. Like, back, like when I first discovered them, they had already done every Viking brutal type fucking shit you could think of, like with their videos. They have so many videos with battles in them and shit. And I seen them 10 years ago, and you know, it's medieval times like the restaurant, but they have the Vikings come out on stage and they're fucking hitting the shields, and you know, like, oh, dude, it was so dope, man. I got to meet him. It was pretty fun. I can't wait to see him again.
That's
Oh, that's
cool.
great.
They
Have
just
you,
really
have you,
go all
have you ever
out.
seen? Have you ever heard of the band Alien Weaponry? Either of you?
No,
It's a weird name because it has nothing to do with their content, but they are a Maori-based metal band out of New
Oh,
Zealand,
no shit.
Oh, that sounds dope.
and they use Maori and Polynesian language in their music.
What about the
And their live
okay.
shows.
And
Do
their
they
metal?
do, like,
Are they metal or what?
that dance where they stick their tongues out?
The Haka.
Is that what it's called? Yeah,
They have people who can do that, and they can do that too. And yeah, they're very New Zealand. They have a great in their lineage. They had, because 2 or 3 of them are brothers. They had a great grandfather on the side of the Dutch English, and a great grandfather on the side of the Maori. during like one of the most famous battles in New Zealand's history.
Wow.
And so they mix all that in. They have the conch shells and all that, and yeah, no, it's
I'm like a weapons collector, or I'm like a sword collector, so I'm always interested in like, okay, what were the weapons like? And I know that they had these clubs that looked like paddles that were like made out of stone, and that was just for fucking braining motherfuckers.
Yeah, they had some that were made out of different kinds of stone. They would sometimes use shell. They would use koa wood or whatever wood they could get a hold of. There was a lot. There was a battle way back in the day where there was 2,500 troops from the English with 10 guns, 10 cannons with them, and they, because of an optical illusion created in the dirt fort that the Maori built, they missed with every shot for over an hour until they were out of shots. They went in there thinking they would all be dead. And 300 or 400 of them killed 700 or 800 of the English soldiers with nothing but shotguns and shovels, basically.
Oh my god!
Dude, have you seen them on? You guys ever watch kind of a thing, huh? You guys ever watched Deadliest Warrior before?
Yeah, that was a good.
So they had a Maori warrior on there, and he had the stone, the emerald stone with the shark teeth embedded into it. That was one of the weapons. I was like, whoa, I'd never seen nothing like that before, you know.
Yeah, they had that. Like a lot of Polynesian peoples, they had different weapons they used more commonly. Honestly, just a strong piece of wood, like koa wood, which is really, really thick. Like in Hawaii, they were called the koa warriors because that was the name of their weapon.
Right.
And so that's what they were called. But yeah, they, like my grandpa, he's a real kahuna, and he actually talked about how they would fight and what they would use. They had a type of raw sling that you'd use like this, but they'd have it on the end of a long stick, and so they could get 2 or 3 times the kind of leverage, and they'd hit each other with those.
Basically.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Right, a flail. So it's all about it's the centrifugal force, yeah. So it's a type of flail, or like nunchaku are also like that, you know. It's a weapon that goes.
Well, it's like that. Like the Hawaiians were weird people as well. That they had been fighting for hundreds of years, and they got invaded by the Samoans and the Tongans at least a couple of times. And then 1 or 2 English ships come on over, and Captain, I believe it was Cook, he was there. He came during a festival, and they were very generous with their trading because it was during a festival of peace and prosperity. And then they leave, get caught in a storm. It's like, well, our ships are messed up. Those islands were back there. They were really nice. They go back there, and it is not the same.
Oh, no.
They start having problems, and King Kamehameha, who his uncle, who was the king of Hawaii at the time, tried to have him killed when he was just an infant because he was the only one who could contend for the throne. And so he was taken away from society, and he grew up among the Koa warriors, who were a warrior class back then. And so he, like all of the real life journals of Captain Cook and his men from that time talk about him. And they're like, he was always counting all of our stuff. He was the largest man that we'd seen in the islands. He was always counting our stuff and figuring, like, he was always calculating. And then they took a couple of their things, fighting broke out, and then they fled because 3,000 Hawaiian canoes were swimming out to their boats, and there was nothing they could do against them, so they left. And then King Kamehameha used the guns they stole from the English to conquer all of Hawaii.
Oh man, that's crazy. That'd be an awesome movie.
Yeah,
it would be cool. Yeah,
it would
even a graphic novel.
well, like one of the things I always found interesting is that, you know, the Mutiny on the Bounty, right? Captain Ahab, not Ahab. What am I talking about?
The whales, lad.
Right, I'm thinking Charles Lawton. Charles Lawton. But yeah, that there are people who are directly descended to Fletcher Christian and the sailors that just basically jumped ship and just stayed on the island.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely stuff.
That's
like
amazing.
That. Yeah.
Imagine how cool it would be to, like, you know, find that out, see that in your DNA.
more accurate than the Woman King. Yeah, that movie was. They did so much wrong, and also such in a weird way. They could have picked real women rulers from way back in the day and made an accurate film, but no, they wanted to glorify women who were slavers and make the story completely.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, who embody all of the worst aspects of men.
Oh.
Yes.
And that's on purpose. Always. You know, when they're being masculine, they're not being masculine in a good way. They're being masculine in like a shitty, like macho way or something like that.
Yeah, they're the high school bully in every old movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Except, with death and slavery. Slightly higher stakes.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of
fellas,
movies,
I
got a movie right here. All right, brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I want you guys. I'll see you on what movie we're gonna do this week.
I'm thinking either the original Black Christmas. I wish we could do a Deadly Games, but I have not been able to find a free version of that. Unfortunately.
What was that movie you're talking about earlier in the stream with Krampus and all that stuff?
Oh, Rare Exports.
It's on Tubi right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that fucker tonight.
Yeah.
Is it better or worse than the actual Krampus movie? That's my question.
It's in Finnish too, though. It's a Finnish film, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to be reading them side titles.
I would say I like it better than the Krampus movie, the main one that came out. I thought the Krampus movie was fine.
I liked it.
Was shit. I enjoyed it. I really liked the ending.
Yeah, I like the ending the best. Yeah.
I thought it would be good, and I think I had the wrong expectation going.
I did too.
I laughed a lot. And I
didn't
think it would be a comedy, but it was.
It was, yeah. I thought it was going to be darker and see more of Krampus, and he would look different. And then going back and watching,
I thought it would be a genuine thriller and not quite the comedy that it turned out to be. Yeah,
right. But it also
the ending was good. I didn't fall for it for a second, but it was fine.
Yeah, and Toni Collette's in it, and she's pretty much amazing in like anything that she's in. Man, they fucking robbed her.
You're gonna miss out on a good movie right now, Brian.
Which is
this one right here.
The Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, that was good. Very good. Very minimalist. There's like almost no dialogue.
Quickly, accurately, efficiently.
Directed by
William Friedkin.
Part will be easy. The difficult part is learning how to turn it off.
The two men were found half mile.
Yeah, I recommend that.
They were killed with a hatchet in a ritualistic fashion.
Right, come out, fellas.
He didn't use a hatchet, he used a knife.
Later, brother.
At this point, we're not sure how many killers there were.
Just one.
Well, you're saying that one guy with a knife killed those two hunters?
Yeah. His name is Aaron Hallam, Sergeant First Class.
What's your relationship to Hallam?
I trained him. Trained him to survive.
Oh, him. That's who it is. I was like, I know that face.
He killed, never knew he was in the same room with him.
Wolfman.
Hallam's battle stress has become so deep it is a part of his personality. And it's impossible to reverse.
I made him what he is, and I can stop him.
The way they've done the preview is very of the time.
very odd.
What has Aaron done?
We gotta leave here. You're in danger.
Why am I in danger?
They'll come here and burn this house down.
Get on the floor, now.
If you cross this line, you better be ready to kill me.
Release him, Aaron! Release him now!
This is number 2. We have an agent down sector.
Wait, did that say Guillermo del Toro?
Benicio, yeah.
That's what you're gonna get if you let these guys declare war on my boy.
Remember me?
The Hunted. Coming soon on video and DVD.
Yeah, man. That movie is fucking badass. I actually have the DVD. I recommend that one, dude. If you're into like, I don't know, like, because Tom Lee Jones, he was doing a lot of the knife work in Under Siege with Steven Seagal, which you kind of give a little prelude to that, but you get the full, like, the whole movie is just about obviously the knife, and Benicio goes nuts. He was one of his one of his guys that he trained, and I think he's like a SEAL or Black Ops or something like that. But yeah, man, it's a lot of cool knife fights in the movie. That's what I like about it. Like for me, it's like the big knife fight movie, you know. And it's directed by William Friedkin. He just passed away, I think, a year ago. The director of The Exorcist. The original Exorcist.
That is my favorite horror film. Period.
Bro. Oh man,
it's so good, dude.
Dude, you know what movie is just as good as it, but like a little different that gets overlooked all the time?
What's that?
The Exorcist 3.
I've heard it's really good. I've never seen the third one.
It's so good. It's occult. It's part of the occult detective genre, like Hellblazer and Criminal Macabre and Hellboy.
Oh yeah.
And George C. Scott's in it, and he is the detective. Cool. And so the demon that was in the priest in the first movie, it's actually like the real like sequel to the first movie, like rather than part 2. So the demon leaves.
Did you see the new sequel?
Nah, my wife did. She said it was whack. Everyone said it was whack, but
that's too bad.
This one, dude, and it's directed by the writer. So the writer directed the third movie it's really fucking good. It's got one of the I think it's got the scariest scene ever in any horror movie of all time.
Ooh.
Me and Brian do this show called the Horror Movie Club on his channel every Thursday. So we pick a free movie that's not behind a paywall and we just talk about it, you know. And
hell yeah, man.
Brian knows a lot of the old school stuff, a lot of like the international films, and you know the horror of
the OG,
OG shit. And I'm
like
more
House of Wax, or not quite back that far.
Well, all kinds of stuff like the giallo, like Italian stuff, the Spanish stuff, the Asian stuff. Even way back then. And I'm more like pop culture, you know, 80s and 90s stuff, you know, like just a regular run of the mill. Like I think I know a lot. And he's like, no, you got to check this out. And so we'll do that. We do the modern stuff, the old stuff, the new stuff, but whatever's not behind a paywall. That way the audience could watch it, and then we can kind of talk about it too, you know. So last week we did the remake of Black Christmas. That was my pick. But usually I don't pick because I want Brian to pick them because I want to see some new shit and I want to get schooled on it, you know.
It's like, no, you pick. This is actually selfish, but yeah.
Yeah, totally, dude. And then he's like, dude, I don't want to see your remake shit. You know what I mean? Like, because most people, like, he's like that I talk to, like, they're fucking, like a lot of the younger cats will be like, yeah, dude, why watch that when I can watch the remake? And it's like, oh, don't say that, because you really do got to watch the original, you know, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And remakes usually suck.
Remakes, especially in the modern day, have become so weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you don't really want, like, remake is now a bad word. It didn't used to be.
It is. No, it used to be kind of cool, you know, and like there's a few good remakes, you know, like a couple. I mean, there's a couple. I think Black Christmas is okay. It's different than the first Black Christmas. I think the remakes that are far superior than the originals are The Thing and The Fly, Cronenberg and Carpenter. Those are better than the originals.
Well, The Thing works because it's not really it's not a remake. It's just kind of, it's the other half of the story, basically, which was kind of neat. I really enjoy. I thought that movie was really good. Despite all.
Are you talking? Which one are you talking about?
2011, The Thing.
Oh, okay, I'm talking about like the 19. I'm talking about the 1981. That one's a remake.
Oh, I didn't know it was a remake.
Yeah, that's a remake of like the 1940s one.
I didn't realize there was an older.
Yeah,
okay, so that makes sense. Yeah.
And I like all three of those
Carpenter's
movies.
The Thing is awesome. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's untouchable. And like a lot of people are like, oh, it's fucking, like, you know, everyone loves it now. It's like the best movie ever made for everybody for the most part. And it has some of the best special effects of all time in there by Rob Bottin.
Oh, the practical was insane.
Yeah, it's the best. It's like the pinnacle, you know. And I like the sequel. I mean the prequel. You
like the 2011 one.
That, to me, that's the prequel. Like they line everything up like surgically, symmetry wise. Like even the axe, the dog. Like if you put them together,
the whole thing.
I'm sure there's docs on YouTube about it. But even back then,
someone's done it. Yeah, it's like that. Like you could watch one and then watch the other.
Yeah.
And like now the only problem 2011, it's not practical. The CGI is good for 2011, but it's not practical. To be fair, the people who worked on the original, they're kind of artists, frankly.
Yeah,
and they probably weren't even working by the time that 2011 came out.
Dude, and the guy that did it was Rob Bottin, so he did that, and he was the protege, the you know, he was the the guy that was the assistant of Rick Baker. So Rick Baker went off and did An American Werewolf in London. Rob Bottin went off and did Howling. And Howling's my favorite. I mean, one of my favorite werewolf movies. I'm a big werewolf fan. My favorite werewolf movie, though, is the Wolfman remake. with Benicio del Toro, the one that was in the movie.
So wait, what Wolfman? Which Wolfman? Which one?
The one with Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, okay.
Love that one. And I was going to talk about that tonight. I'll probably talk about that next week. I don't want to do it too much, but there is another remake of the Wolfman that has been announced by Blumhouse. They're doing it, and it's the team that did the remakes of. Well, Richard Blum's been making all these remakes of like Halloween and whatnot. And he did the Invisible Man, and now they're doing the Wolfman.
They did a weird. They did some different things with that new.
I didn't like it. Like me and Brian didn't like it because he's theoretically not in. He's not in an Invisible Man. He's a dude in a suit, you know. And in the original Invisible Man, it's a guy that gets his brain like twisted and, you know, he goes insane, you know. And that's not. So.
No, I feel that. Well, we don't need to get into spoilery stuff for like what you want to talk about later. But how about this? Let's because you're older than me, but not quite as old as Brian. What do you think about like what are some of your favorite vampire movies of all time?
My favorite. Okay, well, so like I have 3 movies, and they're all tied for my favorite movie of all time: Bram Stoker's Dracula, RoboCop, and Conan the Barbarian, and not the Momoa one, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. So those are that's my favorite movie. It's all 3 of those, or those are my favorite movies. So
Bram Stoker's Dracula, the visuals in that movie are insane.
Frankly. Yeah, because it's filmed with. Now that movie is finally like getting that in the thing because of they use all the old turn of the century smoke and mirror tricks, you know what I mean, the original film tricks, and I always loved it, dude,
like the costume work, like it was almost like a stage play. It was really unique.
And Brian, like me and him started doing the YouTube in like over, so I think it's coming up on 2 years we've been doing the show now, and I've had my channel now for 4 years. I'm like, what the fuck, I've been on YouTube for 4 years. And he sent me the art, like he sent me the costumes, like a big like behind the scenes book. He mailed it to me, so I got that on my collection for it, And I don't know, man. Like I don't have a favorite. It's hard for me to nail down a favorite vampire movie, but I just have because there's so fucking many good ones. Like Salem's Lot, I would say that one was really scary. That one was fucking terrified me as a kid. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I don't. Is that based on a Stephen King book?
Yeah, and there's 2 of them.
Okay.
I think there's even a third one.
I don't think I've seen it. So yeah, I'll
so
have
it's
to
a
check
hard
that one out.
recommend. Hard recommend. It's the oldest one, the original one. Okay, so there's a couple scenes in there that are just terrifying, and usually it's like it's 2 scenes, where people are like, yeah, that one and that one. That one's really good. I also like 30 Days a Night, the Steve Niles and Ben Temple-Smith adaptation.
Yeah,
that one was solid.
I've seen that. That's a good one. I'm like, for me, I like vampire stories, and if I'm reading a book, I'd rather it be more like serious vampire, like good fantasy.
Yeah.
But if I'm watching a movie, I tend towards the kind of the cheesier. Like I like Blade, and then like The Lost Boys. Lost Boys is one of my favorites. I love that movie.
So I love The Lost Boys. I think that's one of Joel Schumacher's best movies. That one is
straight up, yeah.
That one, and what I like even more, and it's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time, is Falling Down with Michael Douglas. So I like Falling Down, dude. You think The Joker's good or Taxi Driver? Watch Falling Down.
Okay,
it takes place during the 1990s in downtown LA, like right around the riots.
Shoemaker's an odd guy. Sometimes he makes these some movies and it's like, wow, this is so much fun and cool, and then other times it's like, you're a freaking little weirdo, aren't you?
Yeah, he is. He really wanted to make a dark Batman movie, but they made him do the toy push, and it was all about the toys. And then he put in some of his homosexual like influences in there too, because he's a homosexual. So that rubbed off too. But dude, he
don't say homosexual and rubbed off in the same sentence. Just
right.
Friendly.
He did right. But he was gonna do a third one. He was gonna do a one, like a third one with Nicolas Cage as a Scarecrow. It's gonna be called Batman Triumphant. But
he would have been a great Scarecrow.
Yeah, dude, he would have fucking owned. Yeah, tall and skinny, like all lanky and goofy, the big old fucking eyes. Like I love Cage too, man.
Crazy ass.
I love Cage, like the way he's coming back. I also like the fucking Underworld movies, bro. Like a lot of people hate them.
First one and second one, like even the prequel had some good things about it. I really liked.
That's my favorite. You have all the Rise of the Lycans. That's my favorite. You have all these like thespian like stage actors from England in there. Like Bill Nye. Like
Bill Nye is a legend. Whenever I want a scary, smart bad guy, and I'm doing a voice, I end up becoming Bill Nye.
Yeah, Victor. And like, I was a big fan of the Blood Realm, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Blood Realm and Legacy of Kain series. It's basically,
I know the name, but
it was a video game series, and it's basically like Lord of the Rings with vampires and werewolves. Strictly.
Yeah.
And then and then like there's this guy that's like a nobleman, and it's over the time he becomes a vampire, and he gets more and more like just changing more and more as he gets older and older, and then he brings in another guy that's a priest named Raziel, and then Raziel rises up to the ranks, so he rips his wings off, and then you become him in the third game called Soul Reaver. And
that's
then
cool.
He's a reaver, he's a reaper that has a reaver that goes around and sucks souls. He has no like mandible, and he has a scarf that's wrapped around, and such a cool design. And the closest thing you'll ever get to that game is specifically Underworld: Rise of the Lycans.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like that movie. I had some. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. I really liked it when it first came out. I don't know. I like the first two, and then I like Rise of the Lycans. In Awaken, the one after that was bad.
I like them all.
Except
for the very last one's kind of like I'll buy it one day, but it was the least of my favorite, which is called Blood Wars.
I didn't even bother. I was worried.
So that one, and it's like it seemed like their budget got slashed, so like the transformation it wasn't on point, because the first three movies, like Evolution or Underworld Evolution, which is the second one, and then Rise of the Lycans, the third one, and then I think the fourth one's Awakening. The first four are pretty solid, and they got the money and the budget and shit. The first three are really good, and they had practical effects with CGI and stop freeze animation, so it looked really cool, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't always consistent, but it was always cool.
Yeah, and
there's never a moment when I'm watching those movies. Like every time I watch those movies, even now, I'm like, everyone's cool. It's just cool. Like
totally,
it's like it doesn't need much. It doesn't need to be more than that. That's enough for that movie.
Cool factor, and I have a soft spot for like medieval Vikings medieval werewolves and vampires, or just even before that, just that whole like 700, 800 years, that period. Don't have enough of it, so one day I want to do a book about stuff like that. Like that's part of the itch that I got to scratch. I love that.
Well, we'll need to talk about that, man. I have a whole binder full of ideas for different fantasy stories, including a vampire kind of world that I made a long time ago. But
ooh, sick! Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, basically, basically vampirism came in, and then each country, when the continent separated, vampirism developed very differently in each area.
Ooh, nice.
And so, like in my version of Africa, they're not even human anymore. They're just like basically wild, vicious animals. And then in a different one, it's like, oh, they're courtly and they're well known. Another one, it's like they're all secretive. But yeah, it's a fun little experiment in world building anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And I love like the Christopher Lee, like then we can go into Dracula. Who's your favorite Dracula? Like right now it's Christopher, like it's Oldman, because Oldman's my favorite actor of all time, right? And I don't like all of his movies, but he's just a fucking chameleon. And I've always liked Oldman, and a lot of people like him now, but I mean that's always been my dude. Like he's just nails it down.
He never misses. Maybe the character's bad, but he's never the problem. It's always like something wrong with the script or something wrong with the character itself.
And like he played Gordon, I was like, what? He's gonna play Gordon? Like, because usually he's a bad guy,
And he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, he nailed it, dude. He can, like he just nails everything, and just gives in 110%. So, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know, dude, but it's crazy. Like, there's another movie that I was gonna say that came out around the same year as Lost Boys called Near Dark. It's directed by Catherine Bigelow, and she's the wife of James Cameron. And it's got Bill Paxton in it, Lance Henriksen, and the vampires in there are really. It's like from my understanding, it's like a road. It's like a road road movie with vampires, and they're real like brutal. And I haven't seen it, dude. I want to watch it.
It sounds cool. I've heard the name Near Dark before.
Dude,
I don't know if I've seen it, but it's a good name. It sounds very familiar.
I love From Dusk Till Dawn. That's another one. I love the Hammer movies. I love like, dude, I could go off. Like, there's just so many,
I know.
Werewolf movies, especially
because, like, I don't. What the fuck happened to vampires? They used to be they used to be scary and demonic, and then they became kind of cool and dangerous, and then they became, hey guys, vampires.
Well,
Yes.
The Last Voyage of the Demeter, that was cool. That was the last movie
I wanted
watch.
it to be good. I haven't seen it. I was worried it was like baiting me. I'd go in and hate it.
Your, like there is some woke shit in there, some baby, like some little like a little dab of it, but not too much.
If the movie's good, I can ignore a lot of
fucking
shit.
Good, dude. And then there's some, but other than that, it was a great popcorn movie, you know. But there's just some things, just little tweaks that would have made it really good. It was good though. He's a fucking monster in there.
Oh,
right.
Good.
He's a monster, and he has like very minimal dialogue.
Make vampires scary again.
Yeah, dude. And then Nosferatu, the original Nosferatu, that's over 100 years old, that just came up on his birthday. That's a hard recommend if you haven't seen the silent film. Very scary, very good. You know, have a beer, smoke a joint, whatever you do. Watch the movie. And then the remake by Werner Herzog, that one's really good too.
When did that come out?
I think in like 1980 something. But the thing about him is it's I mean, Nosferatu, the German artist that made it, a director, he wanted to make Dracula, and then he changed a couple things around, and then got sued, and that's how it was kind of made by the Stoker estate. But he's more like rat like than more bat. He's got the white face and the big front teeth in the front. But there's a new remake of that coming out by Robert Eggers. I don't know if you've heard of Robert Eggers, director.
I know the name, yeah.
He did The Northman, The Witch, The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
He's a great director, man. He's like one of my favorites.
Let him have his vampires. I want to see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. There's this movie that came out in the last 10 years or so, and I think it's based it was a foreign film. I think it was based in was it Sweden or Czech Republic, something like that. And it's like this little girl is the vampire.
Oh yeah, Let the Right One In.
Yeah, I think yeah.
But the title's a little different. It's like Don't Let the Right One In. Yeah, a lot of people that's like their favorite one. Then they remade it with the little girl from Kick-Ass or Hit Girl. They remade it over here, and then with Richard Jenkins. Yeah, that one's good, dude.
Yeah,
but
that was a cool movie.
They've remade a lot of Scandinavian movies, like Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, and that one. Like there's this
a lot of the time, sometimes I don't mind them doing it, but at the same time I'm like, I'd almost rather just watch the original with subtitles.
Yeah, just redo it. There's so many movies. There's even one with the Skarsgårds, the acting family.
Yeah, Bill and Ted. No,
there's Bill, Gustav, Alexander. Alexander's the Northman. Bill's Pennywise, and then Gustav is Floki from the TV show. And then their dad.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. They all have that giant fucking forehead.
Yeah, that's the Nordic shit. All the Scandinavian people got big foreheads, or the men. Not all of them, but it's a common trait.
Yeah.
But whatchamacallit, their dad, fucking Stelton, dude. He's in. I love him in King Arthur, man. He's a Saxon in there. He's fucking badass. But
that's cool.
He made a movie called Hot Pursuit, and they were his son gets killed by some drug lords, and it's a Swedish crime movie, revenge movie.
Yeah.
And when he kills he's a vigilante. When he kills the guys, he wraps them up in chain link. He rolls them up and he throws them down a waterfall, like an ice waterfall, right? They remade it with Liam Neeson. It's like, why would you even remake it with Liam Neeson when Stellan Skarsgård is the same age? They're both kind of do action movies and shit,
Yeah.
Kind of, or at least, I mean.
Well, it's like they came out with the Fury Road so many years ago now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you could have had Mel Gibson in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? I don't know if you watch Razor Fist, but he was dude, look at fucking Mel Gibson. Yeah. And I remember the gym photos when Expendables 3 he was pumping with fucking down in Venice with Stallone and Arnie, I think. And that fool was
he was a beast.
He was a beast. Yeah, he would have been perfect. And I was like, yeah, he could even have been Old Man Logan, the Millar version.
yeah.
At the time, What's your favorite? You got a favorite vampire movie?
I did. It's not my favorite, but I just thought of it. It's oh shoot, what is it? Anyway, I'll see if I can remember that one. But it's either Lost Boys or Blade 2.
Oh, Blade 2.
I love both of those. I adore both of those movies. It's probably one of those two.
I love for me, my favorite Marvel movies are Blade and Blade 2, and I love them both. They're both good. They're both directors. I mean, Guillermo del Toro. I remember when Blade 2 came out, I was just like in awe. Like I've seen it, and then I went to my buddy's house, and like, dude, you have no idea. Like
there was so many people in that movie too. That was star-studded.
I was just like, oh my god, I'm like, what's BPRD? You know what I mean? And I found out about Hellboy, and then I'm like, what the fuck's Hellboy? Like, and then like they had message boards, and that movie had a message board, and Guillermo del Toro would be on there, and he would talk to everybody, and I'm like, yeah, it's fucking X-Files meets Indiana Jones meets fucking Jack Kirby and like meets like the Universal monsters all and and
based off like also Greek and like all the old myth also.
Yeah, and
it's all in there.
All in there, and like, and then you go and read the books, and the books are like some of my favorite comics, and,
Elric of Mel Nibene is kind of like it kind of draws on that also.
Oh hell yeah, dude! And so like when I saw so that got me into Guillermo. Then I went out and bought every fucking Guillermo movie and became an instant fan after that. I went and got Kronos, Devil's Backbone, Pan's Labyrinth.
Was he the one who did Pan's Labyrinth, or am I?
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth. He went on. That was the movie that like got him the Oscars and shit. Lately,
I'm like that movie. It's not as. I'm surprised that's the one that kind of took off a little.
Alice in
bit.
Wonderland and the Spanish Civil War, kind of, and it's like I fucking love his movies, dude, and I just followed his work. I love and then he's from like the same town as my wife and shit, while in Mexico, so I was really into that, and I love the first Blade movie, man. It's fucking dope. It's so street. It's fucking street as fuck. Like he just goes around. He just goes around and fucking looks for familiars and fucks people up. The intro, you can't top that. You want to do a story?
That's the best.
Do that intro.
That's the best
no matter
intro
what genre, nothing.
Period.
You're gonna hook somebody into your book, your comic, your movie, your music video, your song. Like set it up like that. Oh my god, dude.
It's so good, dude. Like the bad guys in both the first two movies are so good. Also, it's Some
dude was saying online like they should redo the CGI in Blade 1. I was like, damn, that's a great idea. Like because like
if
some
they
of the
could
blood
just
shit at
clean
the
it
end,
up a little bit, like because
Just
like
the
most of the time it was the effects were good, but like the blood in the
Stephen
like
Dorff
the fight
shit
at the end was what was that?
The Stephen Dorff shit at the end, the fight. But other than that, dude, that movie's like flawless, bro.
What's his face? The main actor too, Blake. He did
Snipes?
such a good.
Well, dude, like
Snipes
again,
was.
So we're gonna go down another rabbit hole right now. So like Wesley Snipes, he is irreplaceable. You cannot replace him. Like if you go back and like nerd out on all the special features, he created all the fight choreography. He's a martial artist too, and he's a great actor and a dancer. He could do all this shit. So it's like
he's also really fucking short, but you wouldn't know it watching that movie.
Nah, but you know what? I never even thought about that. And then he did the same thing with fucking 2. Like, oh my god, man. And like he's just so good. And I don't think the only other and as far as I know, I'm the only person in the world that's proposed this. Okay. And I'm gonna keep doing it, and hopefully I can keep bringing it up. The only way to redo Blade is if you go back to the original version of him where he's got the big yellow sunglasses and like the brown jacket and the green collar. And it's this original,
like the OG version,
the OG blaxploitation version of him. You know what I mean, like Shaft. Then you get Michael fucking Jai White to play him, the guy that played Spawn. So he did Black Dynamite, and he's got a blaxploitation western coming out that looks dope as fuck. And then you get him to do it.
He could do it too. That guy, that guy's a beast too. Actually,
he's a beast. He's fucking awesome. He's one of the real ones, and like he's dude. That's the way to do it. That's the only way to do it as far as I'm concerned. And you make it scary as fuck and action packed as fuck. That's the only way you do it. And then a couple of one-liners that he does, that's the only comedy. It's like,
Well, it's like it's hard to imagine like after Wesley Snipes, it's hard to imagine anyone else doing it.
I can't Ali, I can't imagine him. He's just going to be a clone. And then Sticky Fingers tried to come in. The TV show was fucking this
or
it was a waste of time.
Yeah, like even it wasn't even the word. Sometimes it was like the physical, like at the end, like he kicks the knife, it gets the guy. He's like, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I feel that.
It's just like, oh my god! And even like I hate Blade 3, but the scenes where Wesley fights, like his fights in there are dope, dude. You know what I mean? And he was,
the movie's
like it's still better than a bunch of Marvel movies now.
It's not a bad movie, but when you compare it to the 2 Blade movies that came before,
you can't.
It's not even close.
No, you can't even compare it. I mean, and they took a cool they did a good take with Dracula. Like with me and Brian.
I like the idea for Dracula. That was even the actor. I think thought he was fine too. He was
And then Brian, like there's evergreen characters. Like do we have enough? Like he always says, do we have enough Dracula, the Shadow, and Batman? Yeah. Can we have more? Yeah. like they're evergreen characters. You know, like you could keep making them. You know, and Dracula, he's my favorite. He's my favorite IP. He's my favorite character. You know.
I feel that.
I have three Dracula stories I would love to tell. You know what I mean? All different kind of like subgenres of horror. But yeah, man. Like, what about werewolf movies, dude? You got a favorite werewolf movie?
That's tough because vampires are cool, but I've always been a bit more of a werewolf guy.
Yeah,
but I don't think there are as many good werewolf movies as there are.
There's not. There's probably like 10, dude. There's probably like 20. There's probably like 20 vampire movies that are like really good, and there's probably like 100 that are really fucking dope too. You know, but for like the werewolf movies, it's kind of, but there's not as many, dude.
Okay, I have a weird one. It's not. I don't think it's a great movie, but the way they portray werewolves was one of my favorites, and that was Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman. The way they portrayed like the werewolf kind of condition and the curse, and like the way the werewolf looked, it looked awesome. That's how I like it.
I love that movie, and and that was like that. And I'll still fuck people up with this one. That was the best like Dark Universe reboot movie we've gotten thus far. That one, and the first The Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser and
The Mummy.
The first one, that movie's the shit.
The second one is not good. Is not as good.
No,
I do like it. I was very young when it came out, and my family and we all love that.
We all loved it.
Nostalgia is beating me out there.
But... Oh yeah, for sure. Like all three of them, dude. Fuck, I don't give a fuck. But the first one, that movie's solid. Van Helsing, fucking that movie's the shit, dude. Like it was so good. I mean, it's CGI.
Like the vampires were dope. Hugh Jackman was.
He was dope.
Faramir was a weird little gay priest in that movie for some reason.
And there's 3 werewolves in there. You got the gray wolf, you got the brown wolf, and then you got the Van Wolf with the black wolf. So the 3 colors, and they
speaking of werewolves,
their skin.
A little.
Oh yeah, I did a review on that. Did you get Bloods? Did you get the next one, part 2?
No, I haven't yet.
I just got it, dude. I got like 40 reviews I got to do. Literally of all crowdfunder books, like. Because I do reviews, and then I I'm Metal Movies and Brewskis, so I pair it up with a beer that kind of, that's my cheeseball fucking cheesecake stick,
But better than me, man. I'm just the fat Hawaiian guy who goes woo fairly often. But no, me and Evole Music, we're starting a comic kind of a stream that we're going to do at least once a month, where we read and talk about in detail an Iron Age or indie comic that we both read and what our thoughts are on it. So we did the Mythicals by Hojo not too long. That was our first show, and next we'll be doing what was it? Immortal Rising. That'll be the next one we tackle.
That one looked dope. I had Hojo on here 3 times. I was like, I'm gonna back your book, buddy. I'm gonna back. I love that. That's my genre. Horror, action horror is my genre, which is we've been talking about all night. Blade, fucking Underworld, and they were gonna make a Blade Underworld movie. They were going to do that. Like, if you go back and dig it up, it was going to happen. The studios, they were all going to do it. And I was down with it. That would have been perfect.
What a fucking missed opportunity. That would have been so... That could have been bad, but it feels like it could have been another Alien versus Predator kind of thing. Which I don't hate that movie. I don't. It's...
Well, like, there's a lot of movies I'm weird. Like, I'm the weird guy that likes the movies that a lot of people don't. And it's still like I'll defend my shit. Like I'm a Predator stan, so I like all the Predator movies.
And my Predator 1 is one of my favorite movies. Period.
Well, that movie's an archetype. It's an iconoclast in action sci-fi horror. I don't think there's really anything like that in action sci-fi.
Is there one of that specific variety that does it better than Predator? I can't think of it.
No, I don't, and it's the first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but the one, I don't know, man. Like the one that I really liked and I had fun is Alien versus Predator 2 Requiem, and I like that one a lot.
I never saw it. I heard it was going to be. I thought it was going to be.
What's the worst one? It's the worst one. But again, I liked it a lot because there's these predators. They're in a small Colorado town and they're just invading this town. I'm sorry, these aliens, these xenomorphs, right? And so, this one predator gets killed, and so the I forgot what they're called, the unis or the yatas or the yarkas. I forgot what the predator's called. They actually have a name now, the race. They send out a signal to this one. You actually see the predator homeworld, and you got this one predator that's just sitting on his throne, and they like a
Conan motherfucker kind of thing.
Yeah, and the thing goes off like beep beep. He gets up, he goes up to his wall. He's got all his Batman shit, right? All his weapons. He picks up a whip. He's got a whip and the cannons and all that shit. He hops on his thing. It's a jungle planet because they're kind of like Aztecian in a way. You know what I mean? And then he flies off and he goes down and he just starts fucking up these aliens through the whole movie. It's just one predator, and the crew that worked on the movie, they call him the Wolf. That was the name. Okay. And I don't know. There's just something about, I like seeing Predator kick ass, dude. You know, by himself. And there's a Predalien at the end of the movie. A Predalien.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that from the first movie. Yeah, they kind of teased that was something that was going to happen. Yeah.
And then I don't know, like, and so then you had and then Predator 2 was dope with Danny Glover and Bill Paxton. I like that one a lot.
It was the urban jungle. It was a cool like, 90s is it better than the first one? No. But is it still a great fucking movie? Yeah, it is. Yeah, great fucking movie.
Then you had Alien vs. Predator from the director Paul W.S. Anderson that did all the Resident Evil films, and Soldier.
It was a fun movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great design. The pyramids look dope. The Predators were fucking huge and swole as fuck. And the CGI was cool, and
they were strong with a K.
Yeah, they were big, and then cool set design, cool concept, and then fucking then you had after that AVP Predator Requiem 2, AVP 2. That was the one that I liked. Everybody hates that one the most. Then after that, you had Predators, a Robert Rodriguez production, filmed in Texas.
I liked it.
That was a shit. I loved it.
Yep, I liked it.
Seen it a couple times. You got
and then there's the Predator.
Then you got the Shane Black Predator, from that did a lot of the buddy comedy, and he was in Predator. He was in the first Predator movie.
Yeah, he was one of the crew. Yeah.
But I told you already though, I'm a Predator stan. I like all Predator movies. So like, and they fall under the same guise as Underworld, where you got the new werewolf each movie, the new badass. Yeah. You got the exoskeleton Predator in that movie. So. And then Prey came out. I liked Prey. It was a little Mary Sue-ish, a tiny little bit.
I haven't seen it.
Fucking dope. Yeah. Hard recommend.
Okay, I'll have to check it out because I saw The Predator and I was disgusted.
It was a comedy. It was a comedy. That was where they fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's Shane Black. It was too much comedy.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. And also like
good cast. Great cast. The kid with the Punisher was in there,
The kid with the neurodivergent kid being the next step in evolution was
kind of weird.
Pretty far.
Kind of weird.
What Unhinged. Predator 2 is underrated.
Yeah, it is. But I like the Shane Black one. I like I liked seeing Gary Busey's son in there, playing his son also in the movie. That was cool. Tying that into Predator 2. And then Prey was the shit. Like I actually that movie was dope. I seen it one time and oh my god. And it's canon. It's actually a prequel to all of them. So
I'll have to check that out then.
It's dope, dude. Again, the worst thing, it's a little Mary Sue-ish, but it's a fucking movie, and it ain't like fucking Rey or whatever the fuck her name is from Star Wars.
I'm a Skywalker now.
Yeah, she does get beat up a little bit, dude, and I like seeing the monsters. Like for me, it's stupid, right? The main thing for me about Prey, I didn't like the fucking Predator mask. I was like, it's just because to me, like for right now, like in this, I talk about this sometimes. It's very popular to just have these masks on characters where it's just like nothing there. It's just void of emotion. There's no eyes, there's no mouth, there's no nose, or they'll have like one thing coming out.
That's not like even culturally, that's not what masks were used for. Most of the time they were actually very aggressive or very, very emotional. It was meant to display a very specific emotion or feeling very strongly most of the time.
And now in like comics, movies, video games, you see these characters that wear these masks, and they're just nothing there. You know what I mean? You'll have dudes on SWAT team or Black Ops and characters and superheroes and things. They have these masks that are just nothing there. And it's just so fucking boring to me. Like anybody could design that, and I'm just completely bored by it. But I was like, you know what? That's cool. You want to do one movie and do something fresh for once? That's cool. But Prey 2, let's do something a little different.
Yeah, I feel that. We're talking about comics, werewolves, and all horror things. I bought a piece of art from this guy. Follow him on Instagram. Like, bad politics, but whatever. Like, I don't follow you for your politics. You have good art.
Right. Yeah,
but he made this black and white werewolf kind of comic, and it is...
Oh, that's dope.
It is really... It's quite something, man. Like, look at that shit. Look
two of my favorite artists, dude, have fucked up politics, And one of them blocked me on Twitter, and it kind of made me a little butthurt, because, I'm like, damn, dude. Like I bought all your books, but whatever, that shit just happens sometimes. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. It's like with some people, it really depends. Like there's a booktuber that I used to follow called Daniel Green, and he talks about books, and he's he's a funny enough guy, and he has a lot of interesting ideas and things to say about different novels and things of that nature. Because I love comics, but I am more of a novel guy. I read more than I read comics. But like, I don't follow him on Instagram, and I ignore him on Twitter just because in those areas specifically, he's all about his politics, and it's so much that I can't ignore it. It's like, I'll watch your videos every now and again, but I can't follow you anywhere else, man. You're fucking insufferable.
What's just weird, dude, man, because like some artists, they just get so emotional. You know what I mean? Like creatives, I should say, some creative. Well, other artists too. You know,
well, some of them get a big head about it too.
That
it's
too.
like
they get a big head, and they get so emo about it, dude. And it's like, hey,
Yeah.
bro, nobody gives a fuck. Write some shit, draw some shit, entertain me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I don't care. You know, about you not having common sense. Okay, I don't want to hear about that.
I don't watch Tom Cruise because I think he has a great political take or religious take. I follow him because he's a really good, dedicated actor, and that's it.
I love me with some Interview with the Vampire too, and he's a damn fine entertainer. You know what I mean?
You know what?
He's the last movie star. He is.
He's definitely one of them. Yeah. I'd say at this point Henry Cavill is kind of up there too, but he's
you're right. No, you're right. But I was just saying, like, there's not going to be anyone like Tom Cruise.
I would probably agree. I would hesitantly agree with that.
All those, like, you know, crazy shit, like stunts he's doing for these movies. You know.
Yeah.
It was, you know, someone was saying it was Robert Downey Jr. too. I agree because of all the money he made with, you know, but yeah, I'd say it's Tom Cruise, and like still, like, it's kind of hard now. Like, his movies are kind of, you know, dying. But that Top Gun Maverick, man, that movie
was the best. It was the first movie I'd seen in theaters in probably 3 or 4 years where I was happy I went.
Yeah.
Movies on average have gotten so unbearable to, like, nearly impossible to enjoy.
No, I hear you, man. Like, it's hard for me to get to the movies, and like, I'll go watch a movie even if I know it's a schlock fest, as long as I know it's going to be entertaining. You know, I'll go watch Aquaman 2. So, like, you know, I'm going to go watch it. I'll pay $5 and go watch it. I'll take the kids. I like the first Aquaman movie. I love the director's movies. All of his other movies too, you know.
My favorite thing about the Aquaman 2 is all the backstage BS drama. Because it's for some reason it's been funny to laugh at. Like, he sent this video to Chris Hemsworth, and obviously for Thor, the last Thor movie, Hemsworth got fucking the biggest I've ever seen.
Yeah, like, pretty big. Did you see that movie?
Love and Thunder?
Yeah. I didn't watch it, man. It was disappointing to see, like, Christian Bale and Thor in a movie, like, or him, like, in this squander it, you know, like.
Bale was good too. He brought it. Hemsworth was good. He brought it too, and hell, Natalie Portman did fine. It's just, I hate Taika Waititi.
Yeah,
I can't stand him.
Yeah, I can't.
He was not the right person for those movies.
No, like I would have been like, all right, dude, I'll give you Ragnarok, whatever. But get the fuck out of here now. Like, okay, you got that, and I have.
But it was successful. They turned him from Thor. They turned the Thor movies into Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work.
No,
Guardians, it worked. They were kind of lesser known characters. They were, and they were always kind of silly. That was always kind of part of their shtick, even in the comics.
For me, with Marvel, like the main thing is like they sped everything up too much. Like we should have just been like halfway through what we've got. Like all the Avengers should still be there. Like I was talking to my daughter right now. They're watching Captain America. I'm like, all right, you know what? Fine. I'll let you. She's about to turn 11. I'll let you start watching some Marvel movies now. I wouldn't let her watch them. So I'm like,
11.
All right.
I think that's old enough. Like for some of them, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right,
that's fair.
She's seen Captain America. And I'm like, this first phase is the best. They're the darkest ones. It's before Disney came in and Whedon came in and Whedon witted everything out. And Avengers, that first Avengers is a shit. One of the best comic book movies ever made, in my opinion.
I think modern day it's underrated, which is amazing to think because it was huge when it came out.
And Whedon's fucking. I mean, he's got Cabin in the Woods and that movie are solid, but it's like after that, everybody's a teenage witty fucking asshole. Every character is kind of similar like that. They're all like Iron Man, like got the little joke and.
Well, I think part of it is kind of like when someone does something really good and it works, and then everybody tries to copy it unsuccessfully.
It's like, all right, dude, you did it, but now you got to do something else. Just because you got lightning in a bottle, like, don't keep doing it every time. Don't expect people to respond to it and not get tired of it. You know what I mean? That just means, all right, you did good. Now you got to kind of move on a little bit with art. You know, it's not like it's a product.
No,
art isn't a product.
It's not. You can't print it.
Yeah, art is magic. Yeah, it's not a product. You can't reproduce art magic every time. So you have to do something new every time. Unfortunately, it sucks. But like and I told her about those phase movies. You know what I mean? The first, like, I like the first Thor, the first Hulk, the first Iron Man, the first Captain America. They're so good and dark. And you go into
I think the first Thor is one of my favorite MCU movies to this day.
Yeah, Brana. I love me some Brana.
Like Thor is one of my favorite comic characters, always has been, and so like it was just good. Like the tone, the language, the visuals, like the whole thing. It just
I would have hired him on to do the whole trilogy if I could. Very Shakespearean too, that first one.
Maybe get rid of the Dutch angles, clean up a couple dialogue things, but for like very easy things to forgive when everything else is that good.
Yeah, and I will say my favorite parts of the whole Thor, like before the Love and Thunder, but with the trilogy was the first 15 minutes of every movie, like just popcorn cheese, enjoyment wise, because you get to see the 9 realms, and he's always doing a dope ass mission in the first 15 minutes. You know.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes of the third Thor movie were about the only parts of it I enjoyed.
Okay, I mean I'll watch it now. I got Disney for free, so I'm gonna go.
Plus and,
I'm gonna go watch it eventually. But I'm just like, but to be honest, I was never a fan of like Thora or Jane Foster. Like, just I don't like the idea that Thor is a job title. I mean, Vikings a job title.
That's a leftover from Marvel Comics. I think that started in right around 2009, 2010, somewhere in there, and they kept doing it, and
I think it was Jason Aaron. You know, she had
passed
cancer.
him off. I'm like, hey, if only there was a way to give someone Thor's powers and let them be cool. Oh wait, Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
Put him into a movie. I don't know, like maybe Odin could give his. I mean, maybe they got married. He gave his daughter-in-law some power. You don't got to make her that. And I think Thora. I mean, it first came with Thora. I think Walter Simonson made Thora back in like the 70s. That was the first Thor female. I'm just like, dude. Again, Thor, I know it's Kirby-in and it's fucking Marvelin or whatever the fuck you want to call it, but Thor, it's a god. It's not a job title. You know, Viking is a job title. Thor is a god. You can't really,
It's not the same. Yeah, it's not like even Captain America is a more. I don't agree with it either, like passing it on as a title, but it's a more understandable title than Thor.
Same thing with Batman. It's a god. Like same thing with like Jesus. Like, oh. Now Jesus is a girl, you know what I mean? When he was clearly a carpenter from Nazareth. Like, if you were to do that, if they were to make him a comic, it just wouldn't work. I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
There's a Japanese comic where Jesus and Buddha are roommates in Tokyo.
There's so many Jesus ones. It's crazy.
They have so many weird one-off ones. There's one I got into recently, manga. The Killer on Netflix.
Do you know Unhinged? Jason Bascom?
That name sounds a little familiar, but
he's an awesome artist, man. You got to check him out. He's got this book called Absolute. He's got another book called Frog G that came out. Dude, you got to check it out. They're working on it right now, but it funded.
What's his Twitter handle? I'll look him up real quick.
It should be at Unhinged Entertainment, and he's got really cool draw streams. He's got a dope ass art style, like you've never seen before. But, it's
Oh yeah, there he is, right there.
It's got a lot of detail.
I think I've seen him in other comment sections on a couple other shows.
Great guy.
Maybe on one of Royce's streams at some point.
He was a homie from the get. Like, I got into this movement, was Comicsgate and Iron Age, and he was one of the dudes that like kind of just accepted me with open arms. For my first campaign, he actually did I have a book called Butch Cleaver, and it's a western, a supernatural horror western. And he
weird. It's almost like one of our favorites. Yeah.
Man. He did a trading card for me though, and
oh nice.
It went out to I did limited print, Woo! And I did like a very limited amount printed of those cards, So
of course,
there's only a few left, and it was for the first backers of that book, So
that's dope,
I feel real happy to have it, and man, I can't wait for. All of his books. I buy everything he puts out.
Thor 411 was my first.
Pretty nice. Thor 411 was my first comic. So Thor's my dude, and they destroyed him.
Yeah, I think Thor 2 is better than Thor 3 and 4. Straight up.
Yeah, I like.
And the people say it's the worst one. I'm like, it is not the worst MCU movie.
I'm like,
not
is
even
it
close.
Like, I mean, like there was some things where it's like, but I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I really like. It's
It was
weird.
they portrayed Loki really well. They showed more of the 9 realms. They introduced an Infinity Stone. I thought they did. I thought that movie was fine. A lot of people hated on it for some reason.
Like for me, like I'm like really like I love fight scenes in my comic movie. Just in you know what, fuck that. I like anytime there's a fight scene that can happen in any type of story, I want it, like a good fight, and like that's just one of my pet peeves. I love fights, like physical altercations, you know, and I love seeing it in
You
movies.
might need to buy Coney Waves, the comic I showed in the very beginning.
By Mark Polton.
They
almost, dude, that was almost a fucking movie, bro. Like I don't know if you know about that. Yeah, that's the homie Mark Polton. I've got almost all of his books except like there's a couple I haven't, but yeah, that was gonna be a movie, and yeah, I still gotta get that book.
It basically starts off with a fight. It starts off with a bro being a Sigma male ignoring the beach bimbo because there were some killer waves out there, and then a fight. Dude, it just jumps right into it.
You know what other book? Like I just did a review last night on you know Mike Barron, right?
Yeah.
So I did a review on. He's gonna be coming on the show in a couple weeks, but
Ooh,
I did a review.
Dude.
I did a review on his Private American, and that shit just starts out, dude. Like there's the coyotes, dude. If you could go check out his books, they're on baroncomics.com. I got that book, and dude, he's got a horror. Oh, okay, so you read it already then.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I think I wanted a little bit. I haven't. I need to actually like put up a real review for it. I do like it. I think it needed. I think it suffers from a very common problem with a lot of newer comics, but yeah.
I like
overall. I really enjoyed it.
I liked it because it just felt like a Punisher comic. You know what I mean? It had like like all these. Like,
it had that vibe. It was tough soldier kicking ass and of people who deserve it.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I like how it had like the kind of kooky villain in there, you know, at the end. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I like that, just random put in there. Some of the dialogue was really funny. Like I was laughing a lot. I didn't expect that, and I just liked how he was just like from the get, dude. Like those coyotes in the beginning, you know, like he just took them out like right in the beginning, you know.
It's like there's no they're not being taken care of, and it's someone has to do it, so I'll do it.
Yeah, and it's very like current year, but it actually is current year, and it's a Punisher story that would be told if Marvel had their shit together, you know. So
like that's the thing. Who has shit the bed more recently, Marvel comics or DC comics? Comics only, not anything else, just comics.
Equally, they're equally just as bad. You got bunch of dude like everyone like I don't know, man. Everybody wants to fucking suck dick and eat pussy now, and like it's not like in their character to do that. You don't just change that, you know. They're basically just gonna fuck themselves into a big fuck pile, and it's gonna be a big ball like fucking itself to death. You know what I mean? That's what everything is. It's just big orgy ball.
It's been bad for a while, and like it was weird because they'd have stretches where it was good, and then it would get bad again. I think it's because they had good writers for periods of time, and then they leave or get kicked off. And then it gets bad again.
Yeah, and it's just part of like they're just trying to push a narrative. There's a multitude of reasons why they're doing it, but they just need to fucking get rid of those people, and they need to go. They're a lot of them are activists, and they need to go, dude. And they need to bring in some of the old talent and some new talent too that knows their shit and that aren't afraid.
Man. It's really been a good opportunity for all the indie people. You have all these indie comics coming out.
I got that one too. I still got to read it. I did a trading card for that. I did a trading card for that campaign.
Oh no way, dude!
Yeah,
I might even have it somewhere around here. I'll have to check it. I'll have to look later. Dude, I'm looking around, dude. My stuff is so this office needs work.
Well, like I have so many like books like you like that I've backed, you know, and I keep everything in the cardboard, so everything it's just Gemini mailers, you know, and I'm like waiting for the time where I can have my library of backed, you know, Comicsgate and Iron Age books, you know, and then I can have my card sets, my volumes, so and everything's nice and organized in my man cave. And then I could have my tchotchkes set up on another thing from the books, and then I could have my battle vessel, my patches, and I could have my stickers sticking up. You know, I eventually plan on using
I love stickers, but I never know what to do with them. I feel like putting it on something dumb.
That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna stick it on dumb shit. That's what I'm gonna do. But I'm just waiting so I could have everything in the right respectable place, and the stickers are going to go on dumb shit. And but I'm not. But first, things have to happen. Otherwise, the stickers are just going to stay there, and I'm going to die. So I'm going to stick them on some dumb shit.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's use it or lose it kind of thing. And Unhinged, exactly. I feel that you're an artist, though. You can kind of you guys can get away with having messiness. It's like, oh no, it's just the artist thing, right? Yeah.
Well, no, the writing thing's just is the same thing too, man. You know,
well,
it's the same.
I write, but that's not what I mainly do anymore. I'm getting back into it again, but like years ago, I had an entire novel written. It was the first or second draft of like the story I've had in my brain and in my heart for like 15 years, and then my now ex-wife deleted it on purpose. It was that was rough. That was a bad time. We were still together at the time too. It was just bad time.
That's what they do though, man. You know what I mean? They know all your weak points. It was
such a nasty like back alley kind of move.
Yeah, that's right under the armpit with the knife, just stab you right in there, you know, so you can't breathe or breathe in the air, you know.
Hey Brutus, what's up?
No, I mean, yeah, no, that was, you know, and that was meant to hurt you, so you would never ever write again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's like someday I will rewrite that story, but I need to get my writing back up to a level where I think it's competent first.
Oh, you will, man. It'll happen, and you'll write more. And do you ever listen to Mike Barron's his YouTube channel and stuff?
Yeah,
dope, dude. I listened to that on the way to work, on the way home. He just got these like nuggets of like dope ass information. He was talking about novels right on his newer stream. I don't know if you watched that on his newer video. I don't know if you watched it, but he was saying like, "Hey, I've written 17 novels," you know. And he's like, Mike, you know, people are telling me, you know, you've written 17 novels, man. How do you do that? He's like, man, that ain't nothing. I ain't got shit. You know, this guy's written 600 novels. This guy's written, you know, 400 novels. You know, he's like, I just getting started. And for me, he's just such an inspiration.
The people who are really the professionals, I say quote unquote, just because, like, how do I explain this? Actually, there's a conversation with George R.R. Martin and Stephen King that was really fascinating about this. And basically, they talked about how it's like, George R.R. Martin is a published author, but he is not a professional.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't treat it like a job. He treats it, and that's why he doesn't release books. Like, Stephen King doesn't always perform, but he always does the work.
Right.
Like, that guy, he's released up to 3 novels a year, sometimes multiple years in a row. The man's a fucking animal.
And under different names, too.
Yeah,
right? Richie Bachman.
It's like, the woman who wrote Harry, J.K. Rowling, she's released novels under a pseudonym, and people have no idea.
Like, how the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, I have ideas. Like, I'm not a writer. Like, I'm a writer, but I'm learning how to write. Right.
Yeah.
Just like I'm an artist, and I'm still learning. Right.
Yeah.
But like I could come up with ideas like probably once a week. You know what I mean? And but I don't understand how people fucking could write that much. You know what I mean? And like that feverishly, like. With that good, you know, it's pretty amazing.
Well, yeah, you meet people like that. There's a couple writers I've read books of, and they're friends of mine now. But like R.H. Snow, she wrote Watcher of the Damned, and she has like 6 books or 7 books in that series already released. And then Black Knight, he released like 2 novellas and a collection of short stories or 2 this last year, 3 or 4 like large collections. Like somewhere between 70 and 100,000 words each.
Damn.
And there's 4 of them. He released 4, like, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, this is like a 10-book series with a bunch of these spin-offs, and he wrote it all in Bulgarian because that's where he's from, and then he learned English and is translating himself into English.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
So like, yeah. Like occasionally he'll burn out, but like he'll write for 10 hours a day, and he'll just do it.
Damn.
That's just how he is, man.
That's cool though.
Like, well, I don't know what the original purpose of this particular show we're doing now is, but I wanted to ask you about your art a little bit because your style is really unique and really interesting.
Yeah, sure, man. This is just a live show. I just come on and just talk about fun stuff. That's all it is. And this is only the 6th show I do this. Normally, I have a show where I have people come on and talk about their campaigns and their crafts. Where it's called Open the Gates, but this one's just Metal Movies and Brewskis Live, and then I just do like little review videos. I don't critique books, I just review them. I just talk about stuff that I like and people should check out, you know. But yeah, man, fire away.
Yeah, so like you sent me your the sketch for an like spoiler for anyone who sees this. He did an art piece for me for a couple. I've been gathering different art kind of samples of different characters I have for a comic idea I've had for a little while. And you sent me your pencils, and I think you were worried I was going to be disappointed. You're like, don't worry, I got like all of the detail really comes out in the inking. I'm like, I figured that. I didn't think this was like a finished product. You're all good, man. You know, don't see how the sausage is made, kind of thing. So how like did you ever try to like go really high detail with the pencils, or is that, or did you just kind of figure out somewhere along the way that you could do a lot better with the inking if the pencils were a little easier?
I used to go high detail with the pencils for a while,
Yeah.
but then I noticed that a lot of the time a lot of things would change once I put the ink on, and I also noticed too that once I put the pencils down, it kind of I don't know, man, like it really kind of chains up my mind a little bit and restricts me a little bit,
constricting a little bit.
Yeah, and then once I have the inks, it's more liberating, and I can do a lot more, and it's more fun. Like like for me, like the funnest part is the layouts, just the thumbnails, and it's the hardest part. And then
well, that's when a lot of decisions are being made. Like the rest, that's all like detailing.
Yeah.
But
and then,
like the first part, layouts, that's all where like, well, how big, like how are the proportions? Where is everything? How does it all look together? It's a tricky step.
Yeah, man. And like with the inks, I like to really just have a lot of fun. You know what I mean? And then there will be some changes made too. I will get more ideas once I see more things populating, more lighting, more colors, more balances, more composition, things that are going to change. So that's, yeah, man. And that's basically what I did. And then I've kind of learned more tricks, I guess, along the way.
Yeah.
To where,
so are you digital or are you I'm at like you, it seems like physical. Are you physical or digital?
I'm all, physical, all traditional. That's
nice. That's what it looked like too. Yeah, I was like, those are definitely real pencils for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then I draw my layouts like that big.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I draw them very small.
That's
and
cool. That's
just
cool.
to try to really I figure that if you can nail like the layout from that size, then you could kind of see it. And I got that from Greg Capullo. He was one of my favorite artists coming up.
That's cool.
And I think you could really nail that down. Him, and then Frazetta and Mike Mignola and Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah.
So I kind of studied Mike Mignola a lot coming up. I bought a lot of his books, and just the way he sets up pages and whatnot with blocking and things like that, and just kind of having things in there as far as balance and concept and composition.
Composition it's like I've seen some decent artists out there in the modern, even in comics I don't like, but like some decent artists. But a lot of the younger people, it's like the art is good, the composition is shit. I'm not an artist, I can't do better, but I can look at that and tell you that is bad.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's weird, man. Like I don't know, man. I just kind of look at it, and it's, for me, it's like magic. Like I was saying earlier, you know what I mean? Like I don't
kind of get into like a flow state and kind of.
Yeah, and I don't really know. Like I know what's going on, but then I have certain things in certain spots, but then like I kind of let my hand go a little bit, and yeah.
Well, your inking, your style is very metal.
Oh, thanks.
Like, yeah, and you're the kind of guy that's a compliment, and I mean that, and you take it that way, which is good.
Yeah,
it's just like everything comes out like it was put through an '80s music video filter, and it's awesome. But yeah, like that was the thing that drew me, like basically prompted me to see about a commission from you in the first place. I'm like, I want to see some of this stuff in his style. He is really his inks are wild, dude. I want to see what happens when I feed this idea to him and see what comes out.
It's I don't know, like for me, my main gag or shtick or whatever you want to call it is I like to have a character in the shit taking on a lot of enemies, and that's kind of for the last maybe year and a half. That's kind of what it's not really a style, but it's definitely a shtick. You know,
it's a reoccurring. It's a pattern. We'll say that.
Yeah,
how about that?
Definitely, dude. And I like to catch them in something, and you know, I don't know, man. Like I worked with you, and I worked with Richard on his Blood and the Sword, you know, and both you guys gave me a lot of like leeway. So I don't know, like it's just like a lot of fun, and I like to really create like a scene in a world, basically like a diorama.
Well, a character just on its own feels very incomplete most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. Like if it's just the character, it has to be about the character. You have to learn. You have to be able to look at the art and know something about the character. If there's nothing else, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, and like with you gave me like a lot of references and then a lot of leeway too, and that was dope, man. And the more reference, the more detail. Like I'm kind of annoying with my clients. I ask a lot, like because I wanna know like what they want, you know what I mean, and what else I could bring to the table. What other like blanks I could fill in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like that's the thing too, because I've worked with artists before, when I was creative a long time ago. Then recently, I have artists in my family. If someone has a strong creative instinct, it may not always be right, but I want to give them the opportunity to let it kind of go. Like I want to, like I don't want to box them in so much that the creativity is smothered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've seen a lot of people who wanted commissions kind of do that. It's like it has to be exactly like this, and you're like, okay, but what about that? Nope, it has to be exactly like I asked. And I'm like, you could be missing out on something better if you don't. Yeah, like
I've been lucky so far to where like a lot of the stuff I've had, like there hasn't been too much of that. I don't know if there's like, because there's a lot of artists, like there's a lot of writers that let artists do that now, and they're being vocal about it. So I don't know if there's something in the ether now where like
I think maybe people are learning a little bit, and like you and I try to operate in a very different space than say like people who go on Reddit and look for artists there, or like some of those other websites. Like we're in a very specific and new kind of cool version of the space.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, this network's fucking awesome, man.
It's
a community. A lot of people don't say it's a community, but it's a fucking community. Like it is what it is.
Like the Iron Age is a time. It's kind of almost like a calling card.
Mm-hmm.
But we have communities within that kind of sphere, true. And within that they use that term, and a lot of them are really cool.
Yep, definitely.
And it's like it's cool because I have you did your commission there, and then this is art of a friend of mine. He did it for Iron Age magazine for Richard on ironage.media and such. And he has a condition on his hand. He's a great artist. He did this. He detail is insane if you go deeper in. And it's great. And he does a lot of cool stuff. But he has a condition, so all of his art is digital. He can't do physical art. Like something is wrong with his hands. Like he can't draw a straight line or a circle. Like medically he can't.
Oh, I hear that, man. It's hard, man. Like I could see that happening. I get little problems with my hands too, you know. I gotta it's crazy, you know. Learning new exercises though. Brian's been telling me a lot about stuff like he puts rice into a bowl and you kind of massage your hands in there and whatnot.
Weird.
But I worked as a butcher and a fishmonger most of my life. So I was gripping the knife a lot, you know, and sometimes my hand gets stuck and I'll have to pry it open, you know. The fingers or sometimes
I've been a blue collar construction guy my whole life since
so you know about all of that then.
I do, yeah. I've only had one time in my life where I had to use my one hand to undo the grip on the other hand. And that it wasn't even work, it was fucking like jet skis. I went out on the lake by my house and it was a summer day. I think just this last summer. It was insane. There were waves everywhere. I was going full speed on that thing for about an hour and a half. And I was being launched in the air every couple of seconds. And I'm a big guy. I'm like 300 pounds. Holding on is a task and a half. So I got back and I'm like, I cannot let go.
Yeah. It's locked in there, huh?
Just death gripping it, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
But yeah, man, I need to look into more of your stuff, man. You cool guy, did the commission. You have your YouTube channel. It's doing well. It's getting bigger and such. And then you say you have your own comics too. So I'll have to check all that out, man. There's so much to keep up with. It's tough.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm working on this. It's like this book called Hell War. The other one is this one, Butch Cleaver. And that's the supernatural horror western, and the one I'm doing now is called Hell War. It's basically like Thor, Lobo, and Hulk put together, like those types of attributes, but it's in takes place in the 90s after Ragnarok. Like, what if the world was kind of the way it is now, but just a little different, kind of like a parallel universe, you know?
Yeah.
Very lot of metal like influences in there, little gags here and there, but also a lot of Norse mythology, and
yeah,
a lot of
blended all. I've seen you're part of a group. I don't think you're all aware of each other, but there's a group of people in this space that are you like kind of use those themes and visuals and ideas and mix them a lot. And I'm all for it, man, because it's cool. You got oh, what was it? What's his name? I drunk. Oh, like you got like Rob Rhymes in his series, and there's one where Fenric, 1984 Fenric. It's where, like in the main story, it's where it's about normal people going to this fantasy world, and there's a whole bunch of them, and they brought guns and and trucks and stuff. So it's like, oh, we killed a Cthulhu monster with a truck with a C4 loaded in the back. But one of the stories is called Fenric 1984, and Fenric, the Conan character, gets transported sword, lack of outfit and all into 1984 Miami.
That's crazy.
It's just a fun time, man.
It's got Krager with Hammer. Yeah, I got that book coming too, man. I can't wait to see that.
Ooh, Hammer. I like Hammer.
Yeah, and the book I have now, good. I got like 40 pages in. It's called Hell War. I'm gonna do it's gonna be an 80-page book, and it's he's a Viking bounty hunter. He works for Hell.
Hell War or El War?
Hell War. That's his name, and he works for Hell. He's a Viking bounty hunter. He has to free his brother from Helheim.
Is there a little bit of Ghost Rider in there or no?
A little bit, because he turns into the Hellbinger, which is this big fucking. Well, you'll see. I have some pictures of him, but he has a motorcycle. He's a Viking bounty hunter mechanic, and he's a guitar player in his own band called Hell War.
That's cool.
So he has to free his brother from hell. He's been working in my book, Hell is called Hell Nora. He's been working for her for like fucking 1,000 years, and it's his last job that he has to do one more thing to free his brother out of Helheim.
Hell. Yeah.
And it's his last job, but shit kind of goes wrong. He has to deal with
Something went wrong.
Yeah, and it's in a lot of it takes place in like there's some of the stuff like in Hollywood, because it's during the 90s, like metal era, you know what I mean? So he's in Death Valley
when metal was being phased out.
Yeah, he's dealing with some Draugr in fucking some Draugr Death Valley bikers down in Death Valley in California in the desert. That's how the book opens up. He smashes through a wall and he's fucking fighting all these Draugr bikers. You go to hell in there. You're gonna go to a lot of different places in the book, and I plan on making it a trilogy hopefully one day. And it's gonna be definitely BD format, black and white, 80 pages, and
so that's a question, because like there's black and white, but then there's a version of black and white where it's kind of like this, like where it's kind of color splash. It's like it's black and white, but then like
Sin
one
City?
spot, like then there's red. It's not all black and white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it full black? Is it committed black and white, or just like color splash black?
No, it's gonna be full black and white. I decided to do that, like, because it could work.
It's a style. If it's like not all comics have to be colored. Some are better when they're not colored. Straight up.
And like a couple people told me that, like, hey, dude, you might not even need to color your stuff. It looks okay. And I'm like, all right. So I've been doing that, and trying to do that with the book, and it's been fun, And my character, he has two guitars. He has a sword guitar and an axe guitar. He plays on both of them. He has to metal. So if he is or doesn't slay with metal, play metal, or work with metal, he will turn into this fucking Hellbinger beast. It's always trying to get out, all the time. And it's
like the Hulk there.
There's that. And he can let him out whenever he wants too. All he has to do is unchain his arm. His arm is filled. It's just this furry ass fucking arm that has these rocks growing out the side of it. And if he unties it, it'll just fucking start morphing him into that. He can even like the arm can just grow big, and he can fight with it like with that big arm like Hellboy. Well, I'm like spoiling a lot of the book, but it's fun. But his horse.
If a story is genuinely good, spoilers should not ruin it.
Right.
Now,
No, yeah.
there are some spoilers that I got like dumped on me when I was a kid that made me pissed. Like, my brother like did some spoiler stuff for the game for some of the Elder Scrolls games, and I was pissed.
Yeah.
And then my brother, I avoided this one. My brother got spoiled for the first Knights of the Old Republic,
Mm.
the main reveal in that one, and it's obvious when you're older, but when we were kids, we had no idea.
Oh yeah, totally, man. I was gonna say too, in the motorcycle he drives is a fucking it's Goldmane from Norse mythology. It's a gold horse, and
That's cool.
it has 10 legs, and each leg is a different exhaust pipe. But he also has like goat horns growing out of the side of his head, and I don't know. It was just a fun character that I thought of 10 years ago, I think now. So, and I just really wanted to do it. You know what I mean? It was the next in line. And it kind of speaks to me. Yeah. And then my main thing is just to make sure it's a lot of action too. It's 40 pages, but like 30 of it is pure action so far. So it's,
it's your style, too, man. Write what you want, especially like that's the thing too. That's so important in the Iron Age and the indie sphere, and that's one of the reasons I hate AI. It's kind of this will all tie together, but it's one of our biggest selling points is authenticity.
Yeah.
And so telling the stories that we want to read or want to hear, want to see, and them being true to us and what we want and who we are is very important. And then AI is the complete opposite of that.
Well, like for me, like I don't want to discourage people or come to think of people as of me like in a certain light, but I'm very barbaric and very prejudiced and very hateful and spiteful and disgusted by AI. But people are allowed to do what they want, but I'm anti-AI in every way as far as when it comes to writing and creative books. But I understand like the good things about it. It's beautiful shit. It looks fucking awesome. But I have to take a stance on it, and I'm completely, fully against it. That's just my opinion.
I'm completely with you. You and I completely align in that way. Like it's kind of like the Bible or like that one Michael Jackson song. It's like if you want to see, like whatever you want to see in the world, you have to embody that.
Yeah.
And I don't want a world where that is the norm. So it's a free country. Do what you want, but I'm not into it.
Yeah, and like for me, it's like if you ain't got something good to say, like, and I don't have anything good to say about it. I know that again. I'll say it again. The art looks cool. Looks fucking badass. You can create awesome characters. You could do all this cool stuff with it. It's fucking sick, dude. Like it's magic.
Like people who have figured it out, it can look really good.
Oh yeah.
Especially like there's a couple people out there I've seen. They'll do AI art, but then they'll go in and they'll edit it with their own art skills afterwards. I'm like
that too. There's some multitude of different. No, it's sick, dude. And like there's so many things you could do with it. You could probably build $1 million companies off it with IPs and ideas, and it's I'm sure I called a million names from here to the alphabet of what, but I have to take a full stance on it as of now, and I am 100% anti. I hate it. Fuck it. Burn it.
I'm completely with you on that. Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta like take stands on stuff. You know what I mean? It's just
for sure.
People ask me, I'll tell them, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
Well, like if you
that's how I am, dude.
If you ignore like the physical embossing part of this an AI could do this, but it would not feel the same. Like this is an artist, PB Doodle. She does art of from one of my favorite book series of all time, and like her characters, like I said, it's just the character, but like you can like the longer you look at it, the more you can read in that kind of character's expression, and she does all the gold embossing with 24 karat gold leaf and such, and it's just I don't know, it's so special, it's so specifically her.
Yeah,
kind of like how your style is so specifically you. It's very that's what art should be, individual. It should not. If an art can be just replicated by a machine, it's not. That's not art. Because art is expression, and a machine is just a recycling agent.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And there's some things I think too that are very, I don't know, stupid. I guess is an easy way to put it. But sometimes I'm thinking maybe it's not just a machine. Maybe there is a soul in there.
Well, let's say sci-fi has been asking that question for like 100 years now. So
maybe
not
there's a
100 years,
consciousness in there, and maybe that consciousness is an artist. You know what I mean? And maybe that consciousness isn't necessarily a good. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it may be evil.
Like in the first Tron movie, maybe they shouldn't have made one to play chess. They should have made one to do art.
Yeah, and art to me is magic, and maybe that AI magic, maybe it's not the good magic. I don't know, man. Again, stupid shit, you know, but it's stuff that I think sometimes, you know.
Maybe we're machines with unhinged.
Both.
Your name is appropriate, I think. No. Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, you never know.
It's like I'm. It's like, well, it goes back to the whole Matrix thing too. Like that first movie. It's like, how do you define real?
Yeah. No, like, and it gets to a point too where like I go off of like instincts and feelings and faith, and that's how I live my life. You know what I mean? It gets to that point. You know what I mean? I can learn all the scientific things I can and research science and astrophysics and whatever you want to learn. At the end of the day, I got to kind of go down to my beliefs, and my gut feelings, and they might not be right, but that's.
It's not. It can't be ignored.
Can't be ignored either, and it's gotten me this far. So, I mean, it's getting me further now, actually, over the last year than it has previously. So I listened to it, brother.
It's a good way to go, man. It's like, for me, it's like, I have my faith. I believe in God. I believe he is Jesus and God was the Son of God. I do believe that.
Yeah, me too, man.
And so I have the Bible. That's kind of my guidebook, but a lot of it I have to learn. I have to kind of feel it out.
Yeah, you have to. It's got to be
like you have the book, but you got to listen to that spirit that resides in you as well.
Definitely, man.
Where are you at, by the way? I'm West Coast over here. So where are you?
Oh yeah, I'm West Coast. I'm in California.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, right.
You have better weather than me. I'm in Washington, so yeah.
Yeah, but you got better rent up there. But if we're living in a reality of oh yeah, right. But if we're living in a reality of a simulation theory, we wouldn't realize it and assume faith and belief isn't already a program instilled in us. Yep.
Well, that's interesting because that's a conversation I had with someone recently about the human instinct to worship. And when you don't have God, you start worshiping something else. And then that's why you're seeing all this political like carnage and all this kind of these people like choosing something to worship, whether it's the environment or it's politics or it's something else. Like, people will worship. They'll just worship something not good.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to this guy at work, and he just became like a Christian. And he was saying that he doesn't even want to create stuff because he's giving it to a false god. Like he's basically like, once you start creating worlds and writing worlds and drawing worlds, you're creating and you're playing God at that point. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with that. But you do got a point. I understand what you're saying.
I've thought about that too. I disagree. But if that's his personal conviction about it,
I'm like,
if he feels he can't create without it becoming idolatry of some kind, then that's his business, and I can't argue with that.
Yeah,
I do disagree, but that's my thing.
And I'm like, for me, I'm like, you know what? I got this thing in me. It's called the art demon, and if I don't fucking exercise it, it's gonna take over and drive me nuts. So I either have to be like writing or drawing all the time, forever, and doesn't mean it's ever gonna come out or nothing. But if I don't do it, I'm gonna go fucking nuts, dude. I'm like, it's crazy.
I do need to do something, and because of how I've had to live my life, I've had periods of years where I was that part of me was dying and starving and having a bad time. But yeah, between like right now, it's like I don't have a lot of time, but I've worked really hard. I work construction, then I go home, I take care of my kids, and then sometime after 9 is usually when I have time to actually get stuff done.
Oh yeah, that's my time. Yeah, I work from 9 to midnight. That's and then I go to bed and I wake up at like 5. Sometimes 1, and then I work construction too. I work maintenance now. Nice. So I'm like doing plumbing, I'm doing electrical, a little bit of carpentry, a little bit of HVAC,
That's what maintenance means now. Yeah, it's like,
yeah, right.
What do you do? Everything. A lot.
A lot of this and that, you know.
Like me, I do post frame construction, so it's one thing, but I do it very well, and I've done it for 20+ years now. Yeah,
that's dope. That's awesome, man. No, that's where it's at, bro. I wish I would have known that, like growing up. Like, learn a trade, motherfucker. Like, oh, okay. Learn a trade and do your art.
I grew up working, man. My dad, I without my dad, I would have been the biggest marshmallow little pussy bitch you've ever fucking met. And yeah, no, he beat the weakness out of me. Not physically, but like he taught me how to work hard and how to be a good person. So
that's that's good, man. He got you ready for the world in that regard, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I guess, you know.
Bad taste in women, but you know that.
Yeah, no one's perfect, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, man. It's coming up on the 3rd hour. I'm really glad you came in. It was a fucking dope show, you know. This is Metal Movies and Brewskis episode 6, so it's cool to have you come in and just kick it. This is just like the Kick It show. I talk about some random bullshit that I think is kind of cool, you know. You know, monsters and movies and metal and you know stuff that's metal as fuck at the moment.
Good shit.
Talk about a couple campaigns too. Try to show some light on some stuff, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
3 a.m. here. It's midnight over here.
3 a.m. Where the hell is Unhinged?
I think he's over in Europe or something. I think he's in like Michigan. He came down because we had a big meetup.
Oh wait, 3 hours. Yeah, I forgot.
We had a big meetup at this guy, this artist John Dillard. He's a badass artist too in Comicsgate because we're all like CG or we've been around. That's how we met up in CG and Comicsgate. And he had a barbecue over in Riverside, and then he had another one, but he's in Ohio. Okay, and he was there, man, and I wanted to meet him, but like I promised my kids I'd take them to Great Wolf Lodge, you know, the water park, dude. So
we have one of those here too, yeah.
Yeah, man. And it's like they're young and like they're only gonna be young and you know, they're gonna be, you know, they're growing up.
How many kids do you have, man? I got 2 boys.
I got 2. I got a girl and a boy.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, my oldest, he's going through stuff. Divorce is hard on kids, man. That's all I can say about that. But yeah.
Oh yeah, man. No, it's definitely. Oh yeah, man.
But yeah, man. No, thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Anytime you want a third or something, if I'm available, I'll pop on. It'll be a good time.
Fuck yeah, dude. Shoot you the link and shit. That'd be awesome.
Also, Evele and I are the hosts of the show. We've only done the 1 episode so far, but like we've talked about having guests on. Maybe at some point we could pick a comic that all 3 of us read and have you pop on at some point, man. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to, man. That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
For sure. Well, thanks everybody for watching and on the replay. Check out the Ultimate Kahuna's channel. He's got some cool content coming out and cool stuff. And yeah, man, he's very well read and he's got some good pointers and he's an awesome dude. And thanks everyone for showing up tonight. Have a great week. It's the end of it's Sunday right now. And always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.